legends start. In-depth words cutting deep as cleats. Every play analyzed heartbeat by beat. Interviews, raw stories unfold. Behind the curtain, the secrets told. The Golden Broom Podcast, sweeping the game from the 50-yard line to the Hall of Fame. Breaking it down, tearing it apart. The Golden Broom Podcast, where legends start.
Welcome in. This is the Golden Broom Podcast. I am your host, Cody Slavinsky, joined as always by Vandy Chris. And tonight we are joined by Andrew Bauhs of Andrew's College Football Tour. Andrew, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm doing great. Any time is a great time to talk college football, so let's do this.
Amen to that. So first of all, to kick off the show, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and explain what you do?
Yeah, so I run College Football Tour. I've been doing it for over 20 years now, and my mission is to thoroughly experience a game day at every FBS stadium across the country. When I started this, there were 117. Now there's 136. They keep moving the dang finish line on me, but whatever. It's, you know what? I can't complain. I'm enjoying the ride. I don't document what's happening in the game. You know, like I really am not within the sidelines, but more what's happening outside the sideline. And so it's more about the pageantry, the traditions, the marching bands, the mascots. That's the stuff that I look at. And that's what makes college football unique. And I take my time everywhere I go and absorb it, meet the fans, get the feel, and, report on my observations to whoever wants to listen.
I love it. So, Chris, I know you've got a lot of questions tonight, so I'm going to let you kick it off.
So, I'm not going to ask a question to kick it off. I just want to apologize to him.
Okay, I'm ready.
He came to Vanderbilt, right? I actually got to meet him at Vanderbilt. He came to our game. Great thing for him to do. Except for doing it on the day he did it. Because, as luck would turn out, a thunderstorm rolled through, the game was delayed by 2 hours, and then Vanderbilt was made the laughingstock of college football when ESPN decided to put a video of our scoreboard being hung by cranes. Andrew, I want to apologize for all the construction, trying to make our home a better place.
Well, no apology necessary. You know, I mentioned this. I mentioned this to you off the air. Any place that's investing in their stadium is a gift, and I enjoyed seeing it. It makes you want to come back and see what has been done since. And I am a master. I like to think of myself as a master of shooting around the construction. So ESPN may have done it. I did not. I focused in on the traditions and the color and the excitement of the game day, which Vanderbilt had. It was a nice day. We really enjoyed it.
Oh, we had a great day. We tailgated with the Door Report. Great bunch of guys.
Yes.
Who also invited some Hawaii people that were looking for a place to tailgate. It was a great day. Had a great amount of fun with everybody. It was fun talking to this guy. I learned a lot from him that day about stadiums.
I'm honored. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So let me ask you, with the season about to kick off, when you're in the preseason mode of things, what goes into play when you're choosing your schedule for the year?
What goes into play, first of all, of course, I'm looking at the amount of stadiums I have left. So my focus is that. I'll be honest with you, a lot of it is dictated on television schedules. So if I can get a weekend where I can get 2 games in one, I will do it. Love myself a double header. So a Friday night and a Saturday. And for me, I have a full-time job. I'm a teacher, so I can't just leave at any time. And I would never, teaching is a passion of mine as well. So, I'm happy to say I can do both with a very forgiving administration, mind you. But I will look at television schedules and let that start me out. If I can get a doubleheader, I'll do that. And then I fill in the rest of the gaps with whatever I can.
Nice. So who is going to be your stop for week one?
Week 1, doubleheader, heading to Baylor for the Auburn at Baylor game on the Friday night, the 29th. Yes. And I felt bad because last season I never cancel. I never do. And I had to last year, and I just felt awful. And so I prioritized it this year, and I said, I'm going, I'm making sure. And it's the first thing I'm doing. And then the next day, we're going to drive from Waco down to San Marcos and see Texas State host Eastern Michigan. So both of those should be pretty electric crowds. Home openers are usually pretty mighty.
For sure. So it's funny you say Waco because we've actually had a player from Texas State. Well, he's no longer. He transferred this past year. Their running back Ishmael Mahdi, and he's been on our show a couple times now. And the way that he describes San Marcos, it just sounds like it's like Las Vegas in Texas. Basically, it just sounds amazing.
I've heard a lot of good things myself. One of my good fellow college football travelers says the same thing. Put San Marcos high on his list, and so I'm looking forward to documenting that to its fullest.
Nice.
That sounds like a fun place to go. Where's the most off the beaten path place that you've been to that just took forever to get there?
Laramie, Wyoming.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would say that because there are a few others for sure. I mean, there are some that I went around a longer route because I was trying to get 2 or 3 games in a weekend, and but just getting directly to it, I'd say Laramie because honestly, I drove it from Chicago, and part of it was because I was living back and forth between Denver and Chicago, but I drove out there and then I drove from Denver to Laramie. But also Laramie, it feels a little bit like, Wyoming feels a little bit like you're on planet Mars. You're driving through a lot of rocky, red kind of territory. But man, getting there was worth every mile. What a fantastic town. What a cool venue. I was there a long time ago. I'm due for a revisit. So Laramie, Wyoming comes to my mind first.
Okay. So I know you don't take in a lot of the game action. I'm sure you watch the games and whatnot.
Sure.
But who is the best athlete you've ever seen play in person?
Charles Woodson, 1997. He came to Camp Randall Stadium in Madison and saw him play when they were number 1. Brian Greasy was the quarterback, and Bob Greasy was up in the press box.
That's so
my
cool.
My brother met Keith Jackson. No, I'm sorry. Good Lord, I'm sorry. I met Keith Jackson. My brother met Keith Jackson a few years earlier. I met Keith Jackson right before the day before the game as well. So you can count best athlete and best broadcaster that I met in the same game. So yeah, that was my freshman year in college. Charles Woodson and Keith Jackson.
Okay.
That's just unheard of right there. Goodness.
Here I'm saying my brother. I gave him all the dang credit. I will say though that he met Keith Jackson and Bob Greasy together in 1993 at Camp Randall, and that inspired me. I always want to do whatever my brother does, little brother syndrome. So I followed up 4 years later, and when Keith Jackson came to town, that was cool.
So what was your first ever stadium experience?
Camp Randall.
Okay.
It was 1988. I was a little boy, and it was a dead zone of a stadium at the time. I hated football then. I hated it. But when Wisconsin started turning the program around in the early 90s, that stadium came to life, and I started to see the pageantry and the traditions and the everything that makes college football so unique and special. And my thought process was, how do other stadiums do this? And I wanted to see, I wanted to experience how every place does its own unique twist on a game day. And that's what got me jump started.
Okay. Very nice. So I asked you about the best athlete you've ever seen. So the follow-up to that is, who is the greatest team that you've ever seen in person?
Ooh, okay, greatest team I've ever seen in person. Well, that's gonna be a tough one. I guess my first thought probably goes to the. Probably goes. I'm just gonna go ahead because the first thing that's coming to my mind is probably the 2019 Alabama team. I went down and saw them when they were number one and just rolling through teams as they had been forever. And they just lit Arkansas up when I went and down to Bryant Denny. I got to see that dynasty. You got to see that experience while Saban was there. Mind you, I also saw Nick Saban when he came to Camp Randall in 1995 as Michigan State's head coach. I'll never forget seeing him walk right out of the tunnel and thinking, who's this loser? Seriously, I'm like, this guy probably thinks Camp Randall's the best place and we're going to tear you up and you're just nothing. And well, that was my thought. But that's probably, I've seen a lot of great teams over the years, a lot of Ohio State teams, a lot of great Wisconsin teams, a lot of great Michigan teams, being a student of the Big Ten. But that Alabama team, that was special, probably just because to be a part of that dynasty.
Sure. Absolutely. Okay. So I have to assume with you going to these towns that you probably sample some of their local restaurants. So what are maybe not necessarily who's the best of it, but what are some of your favorite experiences with some of the food scenes that you've gotten to experience?
Just got back from Syracuse last year and they tout Dinosaur Barbecue there. I'm probably messing that up if I'm saying it, but Dino Barbecue. Every Syracuse fan said, you got to go. But it was fantastic. And, I'm glad you mentioned that because I really try to take the time to experience the town and get a sense of everything. Everything that's involved. Just even for me, it's the streets. State Street in Madison, Massachusetts Street in Lawrence. The area down in at Kansas State. There's so many incredible areas of the towns that you could walk into any bar and just feel like you've hit the jackpot. And certain Boulder, Pearl Street in Boulder. It's for me. It's more about the iconic thoroughfares that seem to be the epicenter of a game day.
Okay, gotcha.
So, did you get to try Hattie B's when you were in Nashville?
I don't think I did. I drank a heck of a lot while I was on Broadway, and that was that. I was more interested in my liquid dinner. Sorry.
Fair.
There's
fair.
nothing wrong with that.
So he had to get Broadway in there somehow, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, how many stadiums do you have left to go?
I have 21 remaining.
Oh, wow.
And so this year I have 11 on the schedule. Probably my most ambitious of the years I've been doing this. 11 new ones, 18 games. Because I also, mind you, I go to I have season tickets at Wisconsin. So I try to get to a few games up there. I kind of consider them my break weekends. Sure. As well as Northwestern, since they're literally 15 minutes north of where I live. I'll go there quite a bit. I'm pretty connected with people there. So, I try to get to a few games in both those venues. But after this year, I'll have 10 left. And I really plan on stretching it out a little bit. Sure. I don't want to just wham, bam, finish it in 26. I'm planning on finishing it in 2027. I have a lot of friends who want to join me on my last one, and I want to kind of pick a nice time of year to go. And we're kind of, slowly planning it out. I have a university in my mind. I'm not going to announce it, but I'm letting you know I do have a final stop in my mind.
I was gonna ask that, and without you,
I knew you were, so that's why.
Yeah, for sure. I don't expect you to ever reveal that until
I'm not going to ask him to give his secret away of where it's going to be, but given what I know about the college football landscape and who's doing what and where they're doing it, and one of the teams he's mentioned that he likes to go to some of their games, it might end up being something that has a purple hue inside the stadium and a lot of money spent on it.
I make
I'm
no
just
comment.
saying. I'm just
I love the
saying.
response.
If you don't go to a $1 billion stadium to close out the deal, you're doing it wrong. I'm just
Wait, are you
saying.
thinking of a stadium I've already been to? No, you're thinking of a new stadium?
A new stadium that's being
Okay.
built currently.
Okay, that is a touche there. Okay, I get where you're going with that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, I'm just making sure. All right.
Yep.
I got you.
Currently being built, $1 billion. It might be one of the teams that he mentioned that he goes to a lot of their games. I'm just saying.
Maybe,
Okay.
but
Because it's going to
that
be a
is for
huge
him to decide.
It's going to be a huge upgrade from where they're currently playing at a high school field with moved in bleachers.
Well, okay, now I know what you're saying. I can go ahead and say it's not going to be that. I can't make that my last one because I've been there, 50 plus times. So I've been there. So I hear. I think I hear what you're thinking about. So Northwestern is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
I consider Northwestern checked off. The fact that they have a new stadium coming does not discount or take away anything. If that were the case, I'd be much further behind.
Yes.
I feel good about that decision because I'm not documenting the game or even the stadium itself. I'm documenting the experience. And no matter where you play, no matter what venue, the experience remains the same. You're still going to have the same traditions. You're still going to have the same fight song. You're still going to have the same everything. There might be some tweaks now and then, but going to the new Ryan Field in Evanston is not going to count as a new one for me. Will not be the grand finale. In fact, next year I'm going to go to. It's opening next year. I'm going to go to the opener for sure and take that in. So no, it's not that. But I'm glad you brought it up because that helps to clarify kind of part of what I'm doing here.
Gotcha. Okay. So the question is, though, once you have the finale, what's next?
Do it again.
Great question. No way am I doing it again. What I will do, though, here's a couple things. So I will, number one, go back to some of those stadiums that are being rebuilt or have been rebuilt. So, for example, San Diego State, I watched them play at, Qualcomm Stadium, which was in disrepair. And now they're at Snapdragon. I'm going to want to see them. I know USF played in Tampa at the Pro Stadium there. They're building a new stadium as well. I want to go back to that. So, I will try to go and revisit some of the places that are new. But the other thing I want to do, I have a running list of 25 rivalry games that I would like to go to. So, for example, like I've been to Ohio State, I've been to Michigan, but I haven't been to Ohio State versus Michigan. I've been to Alabama, I've been to Auburn, I haven't been to Alabama and Auburn. Been to Army, been to Navy, haven't been to the game of Army and Navy. So that is I think my next check off is taking that top 25 that I've got there and working through that and kind of documenting the special traditions that happen on those rivalry game days.
I like that. Okay. I like that a lot, actually.
I actually wrote an article a couple of years ago that focused on some of the greatest rivalry trophies in college football.
Yes.
There's some crazy ones out there that I never knew existed, and just doing the research on it that was part of the fun of learning about it.
100% would be something I would focus on because I that's part of the traditions I can't really hit that hard because if I talk about a rivalry trophy, then I'm talking about two teams and my focus is on one team when I'm at a stadium and I put all my energy and all my eyeballs on that one team and I try not to pull in any other teams or any other things, traditions that would belong to two teams. I just focus on what happens on game day, every time you go to that stadium, not only when, they're your rivals in town.
Mm-hmm. So that would be a new experience. It's to focus on the rivalry instead. So,
Without question. Yeah, without question.
so which one would you like to cover first? Would you like to cover atmospheres in general or the stadiums themselves?
Let's start with stadiums, and then we can move on to experiences.
Okay.
And I know you wanted me to provide 5 for each, correct?
Yes.
I'm ready for that. I want to make sure that your listeners understand that the 5 that are going to be said have no number, are not a top 5 by any means. They're simply the 5 that I wish to highlight today. And there will be less focus, especially with the stadiums, on, the group of 4 schools. There will be a few, of course. But, I like to pay attention to the whole sport, the whole FBS. A lot of those, there's a lot of schools that get all the attention. So let's talk about some that don't always. And that's my thought process today.
Okay.
I like it.
Because it's big doesn't mean it's the best. That's how I always look at it.
Well, exactly. I've been to 100,000 seat stadiums that are quieter than 35,000 seat stadiums.
Mm-hmm. Very fair.
So that's especially sometimes places that are really big start to grow complacent in their fandom, and the ones that are continuously winning over and over and over, then even a routine conference game just isn't as impactful as as it should be.
Right.
So, all right. So as far as stadiums, here are a couple things I want to put in play here. I'm looking at a little bit of the historic nature of some stadiums. I'm looking at the scenery around the stadiums, and I'm also looking at its structure. I love personally a stadium that has iconic on-campus structure that they haven't changed a lot. That really tells a story. And so I'm going to start with Appalachian State.
Okay.
And Appalachian State, of course, is set in the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's nicknamed the Rock. And here's how I would describe Appalachian State. Appalachian State is a perfect mix of cozy and intimidating. It is set right on campus, which I love. And App State does get a lot of credit, but they've done a nice job with a little renovation they had on one end of the stadium, and they have double decks on either side, and it's the perfect size for App State. They fill it routinely, and it is as picturesque as it is passionate.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah. Going along with mountains, I'd also throw UTEP in there.
Oh.
The Sun Bowl.
Okay.
One of the older stadiums as well, and the only stadium you can see another country from.
That's a good point.
So you can see Mexico, the lights of Mexico from there. And
That's so cool.
Also, it's carved directly into the mountains as part of the Franklin Mountains, or what they're called. So it's literally carved right into it. And I just, every time I saw it on TV, I was so fascinated by it. So I wanted to see what was behind the stands. How far did they cut it? So that was one thing I did. I climbed to the top of the stands and I leaned over and I took a bunch of pictures of just in between the stadium and the mountain. I'm like, this is so cool. I'm the nerd not paying attention to anything happening on the field. But as far as their fans go, there's a definite fan base there that loves its town and loves its team. UTEP hasn't always been the strongest team as of late, but when they fill it, boy, they fill it, and it's a pretty electric place.
Okay.
I like that.
Are we good with me? Keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Through it. All right. Making your job easy. Cincinnati, Nippert Stadium.
Yes.
Would be another great one.
Okay.
And I love this place because they did a great job of blending the old with the new. This place was built in 1915-ish. It's the fourth oldest stadium in FBS. And what I love about it is they still have that early century brickwork, the wrought iron gates that had been there since it's been built. But then they built just incredible modern amenities, buildings around it. And it doesn't strip away the authenticity of the original. I know it doesn't have any amazing scenery, except the fact that it kind of does with the city and the campus buildings around it. And again, such a really cool, like almost modern art way of blending the old architecture with the new. I mean, if you haven't been there, Nippert, they just did it right, and there's just no way to replicate how they've done it. I mean, it's stunning. I love it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I have to say, I love the way that you describe the stadiums because you can
Yes.
truly see your passion for what you do in this.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. I'll just be honest.
Thank you. I talking about it makes me happy, and talking about it with guys like you, I don't have, there aren't a lot of people I can chat with us about and appreciate it. So, you know what I mean?
So,
Yeah.
At this level, of course, there's always
Sure.
college football fans, but, okay. 2 more.
So
yeah, go
for
ahead.
me,
Mhm.
I like that regardless of what the team itself is doing, doesn't mean the stadium and the atmosphere and the experience is bad, even if the team is bad. I like how you're doing that, because so many times fans think, oh, we got the best record and the biggest stadium, we're the greatest. Not necessarily. Just because you got a lot of fans and win a lot of games doesn't mean the experience of being there is great.
You hit on something really important there. I get a lot of fans who are like, I wish you hadn't come for this game, i.e. you, for the Vanderbilt game of Hawaii. But here's the thing. Remember what you just said right now. Because, there's beauty and magic in all of it. And no matter what the stadium, no matter what the venue, the traditions still hold. I love anchor down at Vandy. I love the anchor that gets dropped at midfield. I focused on that. Those kinds of things, don't take that stuff for granted. That's really cool stuff that does not happen in the NFL. That does not happen in many other sports. And
Right.
so I zoom my focus in on that. And I get frustrated with fan bases. I'm going to tell you something. Alabama, of course, is one of the is everyone knows it's one of the greatest. But I think I got really frustrated at one particular fan who came up to me. I said Arkansas is the game I saw them play, and they said, "Oh, well, you should come next week when LSU is going to be here." I said, "Why? Why isn't it going to be good today? You have a SEC team coming in. Yeah, I know they're garbage this year, but who cares? Why is this stadium not going to bring it today?" And I didn't get angry at her or anything. I just kind of rolled my eyes to myself, and I noted that for future times I'm on a podcast to say it. You gotta enjoy the because of the experience and the traditions and the pageantry. There's something special to see everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, my next one is Washington.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
I got the wonderful experience. I'm going to throw a little tradition in here. I got the wonderful experience of actually sailgating on Lake Washington, met some people out there who were very interested in what I was doing. And I make a point of reaching out to fans in advance, but we got very fortunate with a lovely group of people who brought us on their boat and had an amazing time. And from the boat though, y'all, that is where Husky Stadium shines. When you're out on the water and you're looking up at that stadium, wow. I mean, you have these overhanging roofs that are coming on either side, which trap the sound. That place is loud. It's got that classic bowl shape to, house that purple frenzy. But when you're floating on the water and seeing it from out there, it's gorgeous. It's an architectural gem. And equally, not quite as equally, but from the upper deck looking back out into Lake Washington, just picturesque. So that setting, that stadium, that town does a great job of wrapping Washington in its arms, and the stadium is just a beautiful part of it.
Okay.
And lastly is California. Cal is, again, I'm a sucker for classic bowl stadiums, and Cal Memorial Stadium is that. It's like a mini Rose Bowl. And here's what I love about this place. So they just updated it. I went in 2012 when they had just finished updating it. You want to know one of the big reasons why they updated it is because it was starting to separate. It's on a fault line. And so they had to reinforce it. And while they were doing it, they added some beautiful amenities to it. But here is the piece of Cal Memorial Stadium that's just so wonderful. I think they still call it Cal Memorial Stadium. Tightwad Hill. Have you ever heard of it? Tightwad Hill is literally a hill that's behind the stadium. And from it, there are a bunch of trees and such. And people camp up there. You can see the entire game from up there. It's called Tightwad Hill because it's free to watch from up there. All the tightwads go up there, if you will. But people have literally built benches into the trees. People bring all their things up there. And from there, you can see the entire bay, the Bay Bridge, the Golden Gate, everything. It's just gorgeous. And Cal is one of the places I want to go back to. And the fan base is great too. You know, the West Coast gets kind of gets shot down a little bit. There's some great places out there. Some incredible fan bases that they're. And I think College Game Day coming there last year really showcased Cal big time and what their fan base can do. Are they there all the time? Are they the most reliable fan base of all time? No, but do they come out when they need to? They sure as heck do. And that stadium is, honestly, it may always, that one I might go ahead and just say top 5.
Wow.
So,
which, I mean, the way you described it, it sounds like it would be.
Yeah. I mean, that one I feel pretty comfortable just going ahead and saying that it is. So, so those are my top 5 as far as structure and venue and city and scenery and there's many more. There's so many, and I could add. There's so many that fit into this list that we'd have conversations. I could go through all 136 with you, but those are 5, and the reason why I picked those 5 are because I think they embody the sport of college football in the best way.
Okay,
love that.
I love that.
Wow. Experiences?
Yes.
Okay, I will be pulling some group of 4 teams here. What group of 5? The higher group. I'm getting confused these days with what's happening.
Right. So much realignment.
So the
confusing.
I know. I can't keep up with my website and updating who's where and so on and so forth. And oh my God. Anyway, okay, here we go. Experiences. Now, when I'm talking about this, I can talk about traditions all day long. I love a place that can give me a tradition both pregame or postgame and during the game. So if all your traditions are held inside the stadium, just during the game, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But I love something that happens before, something that happens something you have to say after. Make me want to stay. I want to see what you got. So I'm going to start with Texas A&M. Okay. And I know a lot of people find Texas A&M cringeworthy with their. A lot of people use the cult word, and I see where that's coming from. But you can't deny that they have most definitely, taken hold of what makes college football special. Sure. Their fan base, the fact that they've kept some traditions that no one else has. How about those yell leaders? Yep. Which, again, I know a lot of people find that cringeworthy. But those yell leaders, that is a throwback, man.
It is. It really is.
That is. And for them to hang on to that and for them to make that a part of the fabric of what they do, so special. And then midnight yell practice. Are you kidding me? When 50 to 60,000 people fill up a stadium, we went the day. It was the day after Thanksgiving. We saw that 74 to 72 7 overtime Texas A&M beating LSU game.
Okay.
Worst game ever.
Some odd. Oh, literally the game that changed the overtime rules.
Yes.
But the midnight yell practice is very comfortably in my top 5 of traditions of all time in college football, just because who else gets together between 12 and 12:30 in the morning, 50 to 60,000 people in the stadium just to practice their yells for next day. I mean, it's just, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that anywhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just threw me to the floor. And I think as much as Texas A&M kind of gets, battered and bruised for being for the cult that they're labeled as. I mean, I think they're what makes college football so great.
I like it.
Another experience, and this is for energy, Penn State.
Yes.
Along with LSU and Ole Miss of being great tailgating places, and I think Ole Miss is the best, by the way. Penn State is right there, and one of the best tailgating. Those 3, Penn State, Ole Miss, LSU. But Penn State's energy. We were there for a whiteout. I wouldn't have missed it otherwise. I've been there a couple of times, but on a whiteout game, there's no place crazier, louder, more invested, more in choreographed art than Penn State. And LSU's Death Valley, incredible. Loud, heck yeah. Oh my God. But it's not just about loud. It's about the visual spectacle of it too.
Sure.
And Penn State's got that nailed. And it's their traditions are all there, everything, but this is about the energy and especially on a whiteout night. So Penn State will always fall in one of those fantastic experiences for me.
I'm a little bit disappointed in Penn State this year though. Because you're gonna have a top 5 Oregon team coming in there, and you're doing a 2:30 kickoff. No, you got to have that game at night and have a whiteout.
Do they always have that choice though? Like they had Ohio State, these big noon games. They're awful. Ohio State, Penn State should be night all the time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think it's ruining a lot. Wisconsin hosted Alabama last year, and it was a big noon game. We were ticked. First time Alabama comes up to Big Ten country since the early 2010s when they visited Penn State. And they're throwing us at noon, which is 11 o'clock in Madison, mind you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was the energy was there, but it took a while to get there. I mean, we like to drink up there. We say drink Wisconsinably, but it just didn't have the same feel. Of course, they kicked our butt, and that's fine. But but my point is that I hear you on Penn State. I think that. Television sometimes robs a lot of what could be some of these matchups.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. I would want that game. It's a top 5 game, probably going to determine first, second, third in the Big Ten. You almost have to have that game as a whiteout at night.
I know.
It doesn't make sense to play it at noon.
Yeah, I know. I hear you on all that. And then they got the whiteout I went to. They wanted, I think it was one of the years they wanted Ohio State and or Michigan or something. They wanted with Minnesota, which again was fine. It didn't take away from the experience by any means. But I get you want to use that tool in your arsenal for the biggest team that's coming in.
Yes.
So who cares if it's Ohio State every year? Who cares if it's Michigan every year? Yeah. Whatever. Okay, another one is Auburn, and I'll tell you why I like Auburn so much. There's a pregame, a during game, and a post-game tradition that are all just so fantastic. Pregame being literally the best team walk in the country.
Yes.
And I've been to like all of them, the smallest to the biggest, and even if there's any that would be bigger than Auburn, there's a special feeling about it there. And they meet at the intersection of 2 streets where the band will wind up coming at the end of the Tiger Walk and do a pregame band show. And it is a wonderful spectacle. I can't imagine a better way to just jumpstart a team. Of course, during the game, the release of the Eagle is just outstanding. The War Eagle chant, all of that coming in. And there's a lot of wonderful ones to mention. Ralphie the Buffalo of Colorado is my favorite live animal that comes out. But but Auburn has, so many pieces included here. And then the post game with rolling the trees. Nowhere else does that. Give me a tradition that no one else does. And I made dang sure I was going to go to a game at Auburn that they were going to win. So I went to Mercer. And people ask me, why? Why did you go see Mercer? You should see, because I want to roll the damn trees. So that, that wasn't War Damn Eagle, it was Roll Damn Tree. That's what I wanted.
There you go.
And then let's see. Another great one. Army.
Okay.
Do you want a college football experience? And I can say this for Army, Navy, and Air Force, but I'm going to pick Army and focus on them. Everything from their pregame cadet review on the plane where they all march out and there's a salute to the military, and it's an incredible start to the day, from the parachute drop with the football coming in that way, and to the flyovers and the march on, which all of the academies do. All of them have a live animal, from a mule to a goat to a falcon. Army is something special about Army for me. My brother fought in the Army, so that's part of it. So there's a little bit of bias there, but right there on the river, and now they're updating their stadium now, but another classic stadium, classic venue. I loved it so much, guys. I had a free weekend the year I went, and I wound up just going back again. I just hopped a flight and went back again, just because I loved it that much. So that experience, I would recommend anybody to go to Army. And then a little bit of bias, toot toot, who cares? I don't care, because it's true. Wisconsin. This is what got me started. There's a reason why it got me started. It's because it's one of the best. And they do have pregame, during game, post-game traditions. Everyone focuses on the jump around, which, yes, is cool.
It is.
But a lot of teams do a jump around. South Carolina does something similar. Virginia Tech does something similar. And I'm not trying to take away something from Wisconsin. But if you want to go traditions, they have a fantastic pregame band concert that is, unrivaled. One of the most beautiful towns you're going to find on two lakes, which, is a great way to pregame, is just sitting on the beautiful waters in Madison. And one of my favorite traditions is the fifth quarter. For a half hour afterwards, the band stays and the fans stay and they dance to iconic traditional songs that they've been doing since the 70s. And, it's just, it is tradition defined. And that's what made me, those traditions right there literally made me want to see how other schools do it. Who else has a fifth quarter? Who else has a really cool tradition during the game? Wisconsin will always be in my heart for that. But I'm also glad to see that it gets the recognition that it deserves. A lot of people feel the same way, that it's a bucket list place, and I'm proud of that.
Wow.
Definitely.
Man, that's awesome.
How'd I do, guys? How'd I do?
You are.
Oh, A plus across the board.
That's an A plus.
Easily.
Yes, across the board.
Easily.
Well, thank you.
Brought up some
So I gotta ask though,
locations I didn't
with
expect.
you being a teacher,
Yes.
so do you incorporate your journey in your teaching at school?
Oh, yeah. So I have an alphabet in my classroom, but it's all the letters are logos of college football teams.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I mean, I teach fifth grade. They don't need the alphabet, but I just do it as decor. It's fun.
Sure.
I have, the local teams in there. I have Northwestern. I have Illinois. A lot of my kids, parents all went to Big Ten schools. So I make sure to identify the Big Ten schools in there as much as I can. But I tell them about my tour. I tell them about what I'm doing, and they're fascinated by it. I'll show them videos here and there, and they love it. And what better way to connect with your kids than to share who you are and what you do. And I encourage them to do the same. Like, what's your passion? What gets you up in the morning? What makes you want to come to school with a smile on your face? And so, I try to incorporate my passion for my listeners and my followers and my viewers, but no better place to do it than for impressionable young minds.
For sure. I'm sure you are the teacher that the kids will never forget.
I get a lot of that. Here's what's scaring me, guys. I was at Wrigley Field. I've season tickets to Wrigley as well. And I have a jersey that says my last name on it on the back, which is a great thing. But it's also, I run into a lot of students at games. And the other day, I ran into two adults 30 years old each, who tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, Mr. Bauhs." I'm like, can we get a picture? One was a student of mine, one wasn't, but they wanted a picture, and I sulked back to my seat feeling 103 years old. But my friends who I was with reminded me and said, "Hey, how many kids would walk up willingly to a teacher in a public place?"
Right.
I love college football, but I love teaching so much because I love having that opportunity to help kids be passionate about to help kids pursue what they're passionate about.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about atmospheres, the experience, you talked about facilities. Pick a place that's not in either one of those that you just had fun going.
James Madison.
I like that
Okay.
pick. I have been there and I agree.
James Madison deserves to be where they are. They moved up, rightfully so. College Game Day's been there for a couple of times for a reason. It is a fantastic stadium, underrated scenery in the middle of Virginia. And they are so proud of their university. I had some wonderful, I meet some great fans along the way. People I've kept in touch with, and the people at James Madison I continue to keep in touch with. They welcomed me with open arms. They helped me, gave me a tour around campus. Just did everything they could to help me with my mission and ensuring that James Madison was showcased appropriately. Being a part of that crowd, it was James Madison's undefeated year. Remember?
Okay.
I went to the game right before College Game Day came. So they're playing UConn, and they just trashed UConn. You could feel the energy, like they knew College Game Day was coming the following week. You could just feel that they knew it, and that was something special. It's a really cool stadium. I mean, it's very unique. And I think that James Madison has the best post-touchdown tradition in all of college football. A lot of places sound a cannon, or they maybe run their mascot across the field, or push-ups. They do the streamer throw. Have you seen that? Yeah?
I have, yeah.
Where they just toss the streamers in the air, and it just looks like a big party, like a visual. If screaming had a visual, the visual impact of screaming, that's what it would be. You know what I mean? Like if screaming had a visual, I'm saying it wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That would be what a visual scream looks like. And it was just beautiful. Fantastic.
It's interesting you say James Madison, because the day that you came to Vanderbilt, in amongst the tailgating and everything, I think I remember having a conversation with you that if you're going to build it, tear it down and start over. And I used James Madison as a replica of what I thought would be perfect at Vanderbilt. The way the stadium is set up, the size. I'm in love with that stadium. I've been by it, but not to it.
Well, I hope I've encouraged you to, give it a visit.
Yes.
You won't be disappointed. I think that's one of those places too, where no matter how their team is doing, you're going to feel some energy there. They love it. They love a game day there. And they're, again, just so proud to share what they've got.
For sure. So have you been to all the stadiums in Alabama?
I'm now just missing Jacksonville State.
When you do Jacksonville State, reach out.
Okay. I was at UAB, love Birmingham. I know you're there. I have some friends in Birmingham who are big UAB fans. And I think Birmingham's a fantastic town. I don't know how you feel about it. It is. And I'm so glad that you said that, because I tell people all the time, living up in Chicago, people have their opinions about, what the South is. And I say, well, don't knock it until you've been there. And I always mention Birmingham. as maybe a surprise city that most people wouldn't think is, you know, tradition and still
Yes.
progressive. It's a great mix of both
absolutely.
those things.
Right.
And I, again, you're right, underrated. It really is. I loved it. I loved what they did around UAB Stadium. It's just great. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I've lived in Alabama pretty much my entire life. I'm originally from Louisiana, but that's the one thing I like about Birmingham is just it's like an island in Alabama to me because it's so different than the stereotype that the entire state gets.
Right.
And everybody's accepted. Everybody's really friendly. Even the homeless people are super friendly to you. And like I can honestly say in my 30 plus years living here, I have never had a bad experience in Birmingham.
I love hearing that. I use that as my example, just so that you know,
Sure.
of a town that people wouldn't think much of, as a place that I felt completely comfortable in, and
Sure.
I felt welcome, and people go, "Oh, I've been to Atlanta," and I said, "Well, there's more than Atlanta. Trust it."
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I think it's a good lesson for just human nature in general.
Yep.
To go somewhere, be face to face with others before you start talking.
Agreed.
And I find that most people are, so much more real in person. Some people hide behind computer screens or do whatever, or have their opinions about this, that, or the other. But until you're face to face, people change as soon as they turn into their real selves. I'm going off on a tangent now, but you said when I come down, say hello. I'll tell you what, I'm hoping to do Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State. My hope is to do that in like a same weekend kind of situation.
Okay.
So that's my thought process.
He froze on me.
Oh, he froze. He froze. I listen. I must have had such an impact on him. He just stopped time.
Right. So one thing I'm passionate about is colored fields.
Oh, really?
I think it's a marketing ingenuity
Sure.
that teams can use to their advantage if it's done right.
Correct. I mean,
you've seen Boise State, you've seen Central Arkansas.
Eastern
if done
Washington.
Right. Eastern Washington's one.
Some people might say Eastern Michigan did it wrong. Going gray, a lot of people called it the parking lot. But no, I hear you. I mean, you want to, when there's 136 teams, you have to find a way to stand out.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I've actually seen some prototypes. A couple of them were like April Fool's jokes or whatever. LSU did one of a purple field, striped in gold.
Yep.
I would hate it so much.
Oh, I would love it the way it was done. I've seen one for Cincinnati.
Oh boy.
That was jet black, lined in red with cat eyes on the field.
Well, I'm not going to diminish your passion. I, however, am more of a traditionalist.
Sure.
And prefer things to remain a lovely green. I will say I do like it when it's like a darker green, then a lighter green, then a darker green, then a lighter green. I like that. It also helps visually. But I hope not too many teams go down that road because listen, eventually it's not special anymore if more and more teams do it. So a lot of these teams if they have it in their mindset, there's going to be a ceiling with that.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, hey, I have to apologize. When you were talking about coming down to Jacksonville State, my computer just shut out on me.
That's okay.
So,
I can mention it again.
Okay.
It happens. All I was saying is that my hope is to do Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State in the same weekend.
Okay.
Because of proximity. And kind of a stay in Atlanta maybe kind of thing, but
sure,
I don't have to. I mean, there's other opportunities. I don't know how certain trips wind up panning themselves out, but That's my plan for now, is to get those two together at some point.
Sure, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. I will say, yeah, I would stay in Atlanta instead of near Jacksonville State for sure.
Yeah, that's my plan. I have friends in Atlanta. I have friends in Atlanta, so it's free. So I got to look at free. Free is always more important.
Yeah, what surrounds Jacksonville State is just not very good. Like, it's not that it's a bad area or anything. It's just there's nothing there.
Sketch.
Yeah.
The campus itself is great. It's fun, but in terms of like exploring the city,
Yeah, no, I get it, and there are certain places that I know don't resonate that way. I definitely try to, even in a town that maybe isn't too flashy, I try to, I definitely get there early, meet with fans and things like that. And if there is a place I can stop to afterwards, even if it's briefly, I'll drop in and drop out, have a beer or whatever, get a little feel for it. But then there are certain places where I'll spend an entire weekend because I know I have to. Sure. So it varies.
Gotcha.
So, how do you think NIL is factoring into atmospheres, experiences, and things of that nature?
I don't think it is. See, this is the thing. Transfer portal, NIL, they can change things. They can expand the playoff. They can add more bowl games, take away bowl games, add more FBS teams, whatever. It's not going to change what college football is, the essence of college football. Well, marching bands aren't suddenly going to disappear. Mascots aren't going to die. Life goes on. Traditions. The thing so special about college football is the nostalgia of it. And you can't erase nostalgia. You can't erase history. So the adding stuff on isn't going to take that away. So I don't see it affecting much of anything. I would expect more stadiums to actually, I'm finding more stadiums getting smaller, which I think is great, because I think they're finding ways to, maximize their fan base and not try to be so ostentatious in their size.
And you mentioned getting smaller. That's a fun fact about all of the work done at Vanderbilt is we're losing about 3,500 seats in total by the time it's all complete. But on the flip side of that, some of the seats that are being replaced are really, really nice seats.
Exactly.
Cost a little bit. They're a little bit pricey, but
you're enhancing
the
fan
idea.
Experience.
Yes.
Well, same thing's happening at Ryan Field and Northwestern. I mean, they're dropping from about 50,000 to 35,000. That's 15,000 seats, right? But it doesn't matter. Every seat's going to be an individual seat. They're going to have Chicago restaurants as far as the concessions, and they've taken such great pains to make sure that everything around the stadium is going to be great parks and great venues and things to do. It's going to decrease, but the season ticket holders at Northwestern will now outnumber the visitors. And, I know Vanderbilt has that problem, and hopefully that'll help Vanderbilt too. And just pack it with more of the team you want, whose fans screaming,
Right.
Gotcha. Man, this is
so
it really has been.
I know I could talk
it's
all
been
day.
enlightening. Very enlightening.
Well, I really enjoy it. I really, really do. And I think what's great about college football is it's really a mix of everything. You have architecture, you have history, you have people, you have different cities. It's Americana. It's a little bit of everything. It really, really is. And it's college football is kind of the jack of all trades when it comes to the sporting world. And you can learn a lot about a lot of things through that sport. So I just find it fascinating because it can take you on so many different roads of knowledge.
Very much so.
So before we end things tonight, why don't you share with everybody where they can find you and all that good stuff?
Sure. You can find me on if you were to just Google search Andrews College Football Tour, everything you'd want would just show up. I'm on X, Instagram, YouTube. I have a lot of great videos on YouTube, so check that out. I'll be adding more in the near-ish future. And my website is collegefootballtour.com. I've had that thing since 2006. I've had that
That's
website,
impressive.
so keep that thing
Okay.
going. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
Hey.
yeah, please give me a follow and listen. My goal is to celebrate every venue. So do a search, see where I've been, see what I say about it. It's all positive. And it's a great way to get a sense of this sport's history.
Absolutely. Well, man, we appreciate you coming on tonight. This has
Yes,
been an
very much
absolute
so.
treat for us. We like to talk to people that we like to hear their story and like what they're about. And I will say, just hearing the little that we've really heard, because I know we're really just scratching the surface of what you've experienced. I mean, I'm blown away by it.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm really humbled. I appreciate that. And it's kind of part of the reason why I don't want to end this too quickly. The tour. I want to stretch it out just a little bit longer because I've put so much work into it. I want to,
Mhm.
I also like to dramatize things, stretch it out a little bit, savor it a little. But yeah, I love telling these stories, and it's college football is a story.
Have you thought about
Absolutely.
exploring the FCS side of things?
A little bit. I actually did do my first Division III game last year.
Okay.
North Central College is just in the Chicago suburbs, and they won the national championship. And so they were undefeated. They were ripping and tearing through teams, and I thought I had an off weekend, so I thought I'd go and take the 30-minute drive over there and check it out. And it's great. I loved it. And it was cool about it is that the same traditions and marching bands and atmosphere, it's all there. A little bit smaller scale, of course, but it's still there. And it's a lot of fun. FCS, I haven't been to many at all, but it's another one of the things I'd like to do afterwards, is to go to some of the big ones. I'll start with my state of Illinois and, go to Illinois State and SIU and some of the big ones here. But love to get to Montana. Would love to get to Montana State, Those are some
North
pretty
Dakota
iconic
State,
venues in their
yeah.
own. North Dakota State, of course. How could I, and all the South Dakotas, North Dakota, all of them. Honestly, they're, they're also equally bucket listy in their way.
Isn't it Stephen F. Austin that plays in the Dome somewhere? And
I think you're going to get me on that one. I'm not fitted with the knowledge to reply.
You're thinking about Idaho playing in the Kibbe Dome.
They play in the Kibbe Dome. Some people Some people are obsessed with that place. Whenever I go to Washington State, it's one place I haven't been to yet. I'm going to do the 10-mile drive over to Moscow, Idaho, and just check that place out because I feel like I'm getting a little FOMO with the Kibbe Dome.
For sure. That's who I always play. I always would play when I played the old NCAA games. I would always play in that stadium with who. It didn't matter who the teams were. That's the stadium I would always select.
Yeah, you get you get the Texas Longhorns coming into the Kibbe Dome and
of course
getting erased by Idaho Vandals. Oh, awesome! I love that. Cool. Well, yeah, no. The journey continues, and even when I'm done, I'm not going to be done.
For sure. Well, I can tell you, we look forward to following the journey this year. That's going to be a lot of fun. We definitely want to get you back on before the end of the season to just kind of get a season update from you because there's going to be a lot to talk about this year, I know. So, and I think it'll be better than talking what we see on the field versus what you see everywhere, and that's what we want to hear.
So. Correct. I'd be happy to do a follow-up after the season or whenever, and share the experiences and maybe throw a few others in the top 5 that might be
there you go.
Worth reporting on next time around.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We definitely appreciate it. Best of luck this season in your travels. That's going to be very fun for you. So many thanks.
Thank you. Good to meet you, Cody. And Chris, nice to see you again. And I'll always appreciate your warm welcome in Nashville. And yeah, you boys do good. This is a great podcast. I've enjoyed being on.
Much
I appreciate
appreciated.
that.
Have a good
Thanks
weekend.
for coming on.
Absolutely. Take care.
All righty.
That's good stuff.
That was fantastic.
By the way, hi. How
Hey,
is my
Sarah.
sister doing?
But yeah, that
I
was
had to.
absolutely. Man, that was a good show. If Terry, if you're still watching, I promise we saw you, buddy. I was gonna add it, but I was like, man, I'm too focused
You
on this.
didn't want to interrupt him, right?
No, I didn't. Not at all. But no, that was fantastic. That was definitely a fun interview. I didn't know what to expect going into it because
Right.
we interview so many different types of people, and we interview athletes, we interview people that have nothing to really do with the sport anymore. But then today, Andrew's experience is something that's completely different than what we cover.
Yes.
And that was a nice change, and I really, really appreciated his outlook on things.
Because if you're going to talk about college football and getting ready for the college football season, what are the places we need to see and to cover and to talk about?
Exactly, because I mean, you think about it, every weekend people are just talking about the big games on TV, but it's more than that. It's much more than that.
UTEP filling up a stadium and can't win a football game.
Yeah,
Something to be said for that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, honestly, there's not too much to touch on to close out the show tonight. Realistically, I mean, there's a few things going on.
Few things going on.
Yeah,
in the SEC, to be specific.
Yes, but I will say that this coming week, our shorts will start coming out of season previews. We're going to record those this weekend. We're going to put them on YouTube to release each day of the week. And I'm very excited to do this. And I don't know about you, Chris, but I'm feeling it finally. Like I feel the mojo coming back. Like we're getting into it again because after baseball season, I didn't even care about football for a minute. I was just like,
Can I give you the death stare that Diego gave Feinbaum yesterday?
Please do. So speaking of Diego, I've got to say,
Keep talking, boy. Keep talking.
I like his confidence. And I have to be honest,
It's infectious.
It is. And I want to see Vanderbilt do good for him because he is a good guy. Yes. Clark Lee is a good guy. Like, I want to see the program do good. But I also don't want to see it become a situation of he talked
where it overshadows. Yeah.
But yes, I'm afraid to start. It could get to that point. But to be fair, I mean, he's appearing in a lot of places lately. And it's just that he's covered the most of. I mean, he's the most entertaining of the players in the SEC. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
And which is amazing that he's made the impact he has. Because I mean, he had people had opinions on him before he came to the SEC, but it wasn't really that known. Then he gets here, you hear him talk, and then he goes on the field and backs it up, and it was awesome. Well, this year he's got, obviously he's a veteran now at Vanderbilt, so it's different.
What do you think about the story that came out over the last week that he played the final 8 games last year with the torn hamstring?
I mean, if you really go back and look at the footage,
you can see it.
I would say there were points where you could see that. You could also see where he was pushing through the pain and acting like nothing was wrong. And yes. I definitely respect because, I mean, when you're a quarterback that plays the style that he plays, if your hamstring's messed up, that ain't good. Now, I wonder, and
now, Lord have mercy.
What? Hunter. Oh my gosh.
Man.
Hunter.
It's actually good to see him commenting.
It's great to see you. Man.
From what I've seen about him this week, definitely been in my prayers.
I was about to say, Hunter, we've been praying for you hard, my friend. I am so happy to see you commenting. I'm just glad that, through everything you've been going through, that you can still hate Vanderbilt, and that makes me happy.
It is what it is.
Man, that's awesome. Oh. But yeah, the one thing that came out in the news today, obviously you saw an Auburn player got arrested for drug possession. Again,
Second one with drug possession. Another one had some domestic stuff.
yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy. But the one that kind of overshadowed that was JT Lindsey at LSU, freshman running back, 4-star recruit, top 50 overall, 150 overall player. And he allowed 2 men that were wanted for murder to stay in his dorm room. And I think that he is going to be okay. I don't think that he's really, I don't think that he will be prosecuted fully. I don't think that, I mean, it's because it's a felony charge. It is. But I think that he will get out of that one because at least from what's being reported is that he did not know that they were wanted, which, I mean, let's be real. If you're wanted for murder, you're probably not going to tell people.
No.
You just might say, hey,
So
can I come hang out?
You're talking about a different arrest than I am. The one I saw, an LSU player, was somebody got arrested for drugs.
What?
I saw an LSU player today got arrested for drugs.
No, you didn't.
I'm pretty sure I did. Let me go back and look.
No. Nah. I looked. There ain't nothing on that, and I didn't think there would be. I mean, yeah. No, it's JT Lindsey with his situation. He
Okay.
But no, I mean, they haven't said like what they expect to happen with him, but I think that he will be okay. He voluntarily turned himself into police. It wasn't like there was a fight or a hide or anything like that. He didn't know. And I mean, it's an very unfortunate situation to be in. I feel terrible for him because that's just it's not a good situation to have to be involved with. But I think that
Did you freeze on me again?
there it goes. All right. Sorry about that. For some reason, we've got some wind tonight, and my internet is going in and out every 2 seconds. And it's but the weird thing is, though, the audio stays. So thankfully, I can hear most of what's being said. So, except for earlier, there's that one, it cut me. So
now your video is lagging pretty good.
Of course it is. I mean, it looks good on my end, but I don't get it. It is what it is. But no, I think he's going to be good. I think that once they look at the evidence, I'm hoping that it shows that he did no wrong. But we will see.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see one thing that's popped up today is North Dakota State baseball, and that's weird to say. But I mean, nothing bad. But on TikTok, they were commenting on like about Morgan Wallen, just like hating on him, and I was like, what? So what I'm thinking I'm thinking that whoever like runs their social media forgot to sign out of the account and thought they were commenting as themselves.
All the time.
Yeah, absolutely. But to be fair, they didn't say anything that was bad that would make the university look bad. It was funny, and most people agreed with it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I thought I'd mention that, especially since North Dakota.
There you go again.
State was mentioned earlier, and excuse me.
Froze again.
All right, am I back?
You're back.
Okay, so that whole time I could see you, I could hear everything, no problem. It was just me. It was a black screen. It was just spinning. I even turned my camera quality down to 720 because of the internet going in and out. I don't know what's going on. This is the worst my internet's ever been. And yeah, but I'm here right now. So we'll try to wrap this up so it'll quit doing this.
So what do you think about what's going on at Tennessee?
You talking about Boo Carter?
No.
Oh, what?
So they only have 6 wide receivers on their roster to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 2 of them that haven't practiced all week.
Sure.
A third went down with another injury. Another one went down with another injury today.
Ugh.
Kinselman's been out.
Yeah,
Not practicing.
But what I've heard though is they should be back by season. I don't know about the one that went down today, but I know the other one should be back.
But if you're having an open competition at quarterback,
yeah,
don't you kind of have to have your starters out there?
That's true. Let me look up something real quick. So they have 9 wide receivers. They have 3 true freshmen. Let me see who this guy is. What in the heck is going on with my phone? Here we go.
Brazel hasn't practiced all week. Matthews hasn't practiced all week. Another one has been injured either yesterday or today.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the situation is pretty much that you pull a defensive back in if needed and just kind of go from there. I don't think you have a choice at this point. But also another thing to consider too is they probably don't need a ton of wide receivers because I don't think they're going to be a pass-heavy offense at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, Joey Aguilar, he can sling it. He can.
He likes to put it on the ground too. He's a fumble machine.
Yeah, but to be fair, a lot of his fumbles could be based on the offensive line that he had. It wasn't all on him. He's actually he's a better quarterback than people are giving him credit for.
AJ Swan took his job.
I mean, he was already hitting the portal regardless, though. He wasn't going to stay. He had too good of a year last year to stay.
I mean, AJ Swan took his job. You look like you got a big dip in your mouth and you're froze.
It's starting to get annoying. But no, one thing we can say about Tennessee is, I mean, they do have a solid offensive line. They really do.
They lost their top 3 players on the offensive line.
Yeah, but they replaced them with a 5-star true freshman who is fantastic.
He's a true freshman.
Dude, he does not play. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be a 3-year starter, go first round. Like he's that good. I promise. But you've got some guys that learned. Of course,
I have to see it to believe.
Of course. But you had 2 guys transfer in that are veterans that are very, very solid. I really think that Tennessee, especially Deshaun Bishop, I mean, he's fantastic. He's going to do some good stuff this year. I mean, it don't even matter what the line does. I think he's got that good a vision that he'll be able to get through it.
But if you don't have a passing game, load 10 people up in the box and he's not running.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get you to do something after the show, because if I say it right now, you're gonna tell me I'm psycho. But I actually, after doing heavy research, I think Missouri is going to be very good this year.
I don't.
I'm telling you. I understand why you say that. I do 100% understand it, and I can't present an argument right now that would make you change your mind. That being said, I highly suggest that you go to cfbackers.com and check out my article that I wrote on their offense. Yes, I'm doing a plug right now, but they are set.
So here's the thing. Congrats. They brought in Bo from Penn State.
Okay.
Who wasn't good enough to take the job away from a very inconsistent Drew Allar.
Who is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, though. Let's be fair on that.
He's inconsistent, right?
Sure. But he's very good.
So if you're inconsistent and somebody else can't take your job, It doesn't speak highly of the person that can't take the job.
Yeah, but one thing you do have to consider too is the fact that when he did go in at Penn State, he shined, and it wasn't always in mop-up duty. Like he's got some skill, but he's not the reason that I think this offense is going to be good.
They lost their top 2 wide receivers, their top 2 running backs, their quarterback. You don't just... No, that's not how this works.
Drinkwitz played the portal smart. He got Ahmad Hardy, who is obviously he's a good running back, but he has the potential to be something really special this year. So you have that. Their offensive line might be one of the stronger lines in the conference, which is saying a lot because there's some good offensive lines in the SEC this year. But I really think that theirs is underrated.
Did they bring in the number 1 center in the portal?
I don't think so.
No, they did not, because I know where he went.
But they didn't need a center. They have a graduate student who's been center for more than multiple seasons now, who's really good. He's actually one of their strong points. But no, I'm telling you, they have some dogs on that line. They have a freshman receiver come in. I cannot pronounce his name. He came in from IMG Academy. The kid's making plays.
You froze again, but that being said,
I really hate this.
Missouri's just not going to be very good this year.
I've got faith, man. I don't know why, but after researching them, I was pleasantly surprised, to say the least. Hey, bud. Hey, Tim. How you doing tonight? Trust me on this, y'all. Look, I am not a Missouri fan. I have never been a Missouri fan. I will never be a Missouri fan. I don't think they should be in the SEC. That said, Missouri won 10 games last year. They lost a lot of talent. They played the portal smart. I really think this is going to make Drinkwitz look like a great coach this year. And he will probably not be the coach at Missouri next year because I think he has a potential to do that good of a job to land him a bigger job.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not only going to clip this, but I'm going to save this to play for you when Missouri wins at least 9 games this year.
I'm not buying it.
Okay. Well, just know this is an investment that you're missing out on. Thankfully, you don't have any financial situation attached to this.
Oh, I'm telling you, I've got free money on my plate.
There you go. I tell you what, how about this?
This over under a 4. Stop it. That's
right,
free money.
Hey, I have an idea right here. How about this? If Vanderbilt win, all right, do you think Vanderbilt will win more games than Missouri?
Yes.
Okay. How about this? If Missouri wins more games than Vanderbilt, you have to donate $50 to Missouri's NIL collective. If Vanderbilt wins more games than Missouri, I donate $50 to Vanderbilt's collective.
You're on.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think that's a fun bet right there.
You're on.
I like.
Thanks for the money.
Hey, I will happily do it. And in my notation on there, I'll put in honor of Vandy Chris. Hey, this right here, you know what? I would have disagreed with this before last season. I would have said that you were crazy for saying this. I fully agree with this because he pissed away a really good opportunity last season. His team had a chance to really be something special last year, and they absolutely blew it.
How do you figure they couldn't settle on a quarterback all year because they had 2 good quarterbacks?
And they still didn't do anything with it. Look, Texas A&M is just, they're cursed. They're like Arkansas, and essentially like Arkansas baseball is like A&M football. Ranked. When it matters, nothing happens.
I can see them winning 9 games this year.
I don't see it happening. I don't. I have no faith in them.
I'm telling you right now, if Marcel Reed stays healthy, Texas A&M is a problem.
But see, the problem for Reed is the fact that the game that made him look good last year, he played against a defense that couldn't stop anything.
I'm telling you, if Marcel Reed stays healthy, Texas A&M is a problem.
Potentially. I'm just not I'm not sold. I'm not at all. I think Texas A&M just becomes a lower to mid-tier team this year. It just falls away.
I'm more sold on A&M than I am Florida.
That's fair, actually. I think the problem with Florida
Lagway is hurt again.
Yeah, I will say this, if I was Florida, I would not play him game 1. Just saying, I wouldn't. Now I will say this in our preview. I will go ahead and spoil this now. I am not saying Florida goes 2-10 this year. I cannot do that. Will not do that. But
I ain't saying it either. But if Harrison Barnes is your starting quarterback at Florida, you're in trouble.
Yeah, because
Harrison Bailey, I mean.
Or yeah, I mean the one positive about that is at least he's a seasoned veteran, I guess you could kind of say. I mean, he hadn't played a lot.
He's a seasoned veteran that got ran out of the SEC previously.
Pretty much. But, I mean, so at least there's like a veteran presence there. But, yeah, no, I mean, I can't argue that. I mean, the problem with Florida is that last year, when I said 2-10 for them, they should have went 2-10 last year. But they played above their talent level for Napier. 100% did. And I mean, they turned it around and they won games they shouldn't have, and they ended up closing out really solid, and momentum was high, but they lost some top players after the season. They lost some to the portal. I mean, yes, they have a good presence coming back, but they don't have – I just feel like their talent level on their team as a whole is still just kind of like, let's say Texas, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, all of them up here. Florida's still they're just still about here. And that's a shame. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Lagway's a great quarterback. I think he has the talent to be one of the best in the country. But he doesn't have the talent around him to fully showcase his skills. And that's a shame.
I'm not sold on Florida if Lagway gets hurt, and he's in a boot right now.
Sure. I mean, that's very fair. I mean, he would win them more games for sure if he was there and healthy and all that. So, no argument for me on that at all. But you know what? And actually, I think this weekend, let's record. Florida will be one of our teams we discuss this weekend. I think that will be a very good one to do. Actually, screw it. Let's decide it right now on air. Who are our? We'll do 5 this week. Who are our 5 going to be? Florida's 1. Who's going to be our other 4?
I want Alabama to be one of them.
Okay, we can do Alabama. I like that. Well, actually, hold on. Actually, I don't know if we can do Alabama this weekend. So I have a potential guest for us for the Alabama one, and he is actually not going to be available this weekend.
Okay.
So yeah, because buddy of mine, he's going to be at their practice. Oh, of course.
I got some things to say about them.
Of course. I tell you what, let's do Mississippi State. I think that'd be a good one to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Since we've talked about them, let's do Texas A&M as well.
Mm-hmm.
Since they're kind of a hot topic, let's do Auburn because that'd be fun. And then I'm going to talk to Reverend Red and Black and see what he's up to because he might be busy this weekend.
There's only one hotter topic in the entire landscape of college football right now.
Who?
Diego Pavia.
But here's what I wanted to ask you. I'm okay with doing Vanderbilt this weekend, but do you want to save them? It's your call. I'm happy to do Vanderbilt if you want to, but we need to get with Reverend Red and Black and see when he's going to be available because he's already confirmed for the Georgia. I told him about it, and he said absolutely. He said that I know that he said that he was busy tonight, which I said is fine because we wouldn't have recorded it tonight anyway. but I'm not sure what he's looking like for the weekend. So we'll have to see what he's up to, and we'll get something set up with him because obviously we love having him on. He's super fun.
Yes.
And he's probably the funniest guest we've ever had and will ever have on this show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm cool with that. And we'll work out a plan. Actually, when we get off the show, we can stay on for a couple minutes if that's cool with you, and we can discuss what we're going to do. But no, I have some ideas that I think you're going to like. Because I've behind the scenes, I've been doing a little work per se and trying to work out some stuff.
Can I give everybody a hot take?
Absolutely.
Mississippi State is going to be a problem.
I actually am not going to disagree with you on that. There's something special building down there right now. And
I'm not going to say it's special. I'm just going to say they're going to be a problem.
Well, to be fair, they have one of the best young coaches in the game right now that's only going to get better as the years go by, as long as the university fully believes in his vision, which they should. I think with the talent that they have there this year, they're going to make a bowl game this year. I will go ahead and say that.
I'll give them a bowl game. I don't think they're going to be a national power. I'm just going to say they're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because if you think about last year, they had a fairly prolific offense.
Mm-hmm. They did.
They could score with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They just couldn't stop anyone.
Exactly. And the one good thing is
93 new players on the roster, 60 of them scholarship players.
Yep.
That's how you flip a roster right there.
Exactly. They invested very well, and they the talent they got to come in to really fill in the holes of what they need. It's very good. That being said, the one piece that really sticks out to me that happened was Michael Van Buren leaving, the quarterback that took over after the injury last year. Which, I get that though. He wanted to be elsewhere. Can't hate on the kid for that. But then I truly thought that Jackson Arnold was going to go there. I really did.
They're better off without him.
No, I agree. I think that, don't get me wrong. I think he would do fine there, but I think he'll be better at Auburn. I think he's going to do great at Auburn.
Stop it.
He can literally just throw the ball in the air and Cam Coleman's going to catch it. The dude
is ass.
Nah.
He's ass.
He beat Alabama with his legs last year. I can't hate on the kid.
When your head coach comes out and says, I had to ask my defensive coordinator to go vanilla to make my quarterback feel good, your quarterback is a damn problem. I don't care who it is. Your quarterback is a damn problem.
So if Tim Bailey is still watching, he can verify this. But the problem was not Jackson Arnold. The problem was the offense, like the scheme. And that is why they overhauled everything at OU.
Hugh Freeze came out last week and said he had to ask DJ Durkin, his defensive coordinator, to go vanilla in practice because it was confusing his quarterback, and he needed to make him feel good.
Well, so speaking of Hugh Freeze, did you see where basically it's like they acknowledged that they were not going to be great this year? It was weird. It was a team meeting, and I'm assuming it was on the new docuseries on Netflix, but here we go. Oh, sure. No, absolutely.
He's a head case that can't read a defense.
See, I don't think that's fully true though.
According to Hugh Freeze, it is.
I think there's more to it than that.
If you're having to ask your defensive coordinator to go vanilla because your quarterback is confused, your quarterback is a damn problem.
Yeah, that's true. I know, like back when I played, which obviously it's not that level, but we would tone down our defensive calls for the first team offense in practice. So we weren't running like a bunch of, complicated schemes. It was just a generic, 4-3. All right.
I'm
Come on in, Tim. I'll let you come on for a minute.
I'm telling you, Jackson Arnold is a problem.
All right, Tim, I'm going to text you the link. Give me 2 seconds because I got nothing but time. Actually, all right, so Tim, we have approximately 15 minutes left in the show that I can cut it into shorts. So let me I'm going to send you the link right now. All right, let's see. And also, let's be real, Tim Bailey is long overdue to appear on a podcast again.
Yeah, for me, Jackson Arnold is a problem. You can't have your head coach saying, hey, I had to ask my D coordinator to go vanilla because he looks bad, and then find out your backup is playing better than your starter is in camp.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so Tim should be here any minute. Just send him the link. Which
and
also
to openly admit that your quarterback needs to feel good. You're telling me this dude's a head case.
True. So first of all, let me say that we have over 100 people in here right now that's verified. So we get an estimated count of the current viewers on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I don't understand why it does that, because I've learned that it'll say one thing, but it's actually another. But yes, so thank everybody. Thank you all for watching. And please, if you can, subscribe to our YouTube, follow our pages. We appreciate it. So Tim Bailey is blacked out. And that's weird. It's like he's there, but he's not there. Because like when I go to highlight over his name, it won't let me. Oh, there he goes. All right, how do I add him to the? Oh, that's probably the problem right there. There we go. What's up, buddy?
What's going on,
Tim? What's going on?
Oh, not too much. How are you guys doing?
Just
so first of all,
about Jackson Arnold.
So Tim, I have to say something real quick, buddy.
Yeah.
Please read your headline under your name.
Yeah. So has been hot take CFB analyst.
Okay, I want to make sure you read what you wrote. I love it. I love it so much.
I just had to, I saw Chris's double T, and I had to get me some of that too.
Right.
I love it. All right. So how's things at the shop going?
Oh, dude, it's going pretty good. I don't think I've showed you guys around in a while in here, but yeah, it's getting pretty crazy.
Whoa.
Wow.
It's changed so much since the last time you were on.
Yeah. Here's my crazy tech back room.
Wow.
Do you need an Xbox?
I don't.
I don't, but I do need a new system though. That is for sure.
Hey, we'll figure something out.
For sure. But yes, Tim, please explain to Chris that Jackson Arnold is not ass.
So I still think that, like, I can understand Chris's perspective, and it doesn't work out the way Chris thinks. Jackson is super talented. I think that the worst thing that could have happened to Jackson was some of the chaos and weirdness that happened in that Arizona Bowl game a couple of years ago. Because you saw during that game, you're like, damn, this guy's amazing. And then there were some wild, wacky interceptions and guys running the wrong way on routes and fumbling. And I think that hurt him a lot because he's a kid that always had success all the time. He was the National Gatorade Player of the Year. He went to, what was it? He had like 3 losses in high school or something, went to a state championship. I do think he's ultra talented. I mean, you see flashes. I mean, you know, you think of just last year, even under his he had some of the wildest lowlights that I've ever seen for a quarterback wearing that uniform. I mean, the backwards pass on a play that there was no screen where he against Tennessee is really bad. The fumble versus Missouri was, I don't even know how that happens. He also has a check down wide open and he doesn't hit him, right?
Yep.
I don't. So here's the thing. It's really unfair to just say Jackson Arnold's not good, right? Because I've seen him play really well in an OU uniform. Some of it's been mop-up duty. Some of it, He came in against BYU. Remember when Dylan Gabriel got knocked out? He comes in with Levy there as his coordinator. He makes an audible, makes a change, throws a strike for a third down conversion. I mean, you saw the Arizona game last year where I know he had some turnovers, but aside from that, I mean, he had 500 yards of offense himself. So we never got that version. We didn't see the 2023 version of Jackson Arnold in 2024 at Oklahoma. How much of that was his own regression? How much of that was the musical coordinators? How much of that was 7 of your top 10 offensive linemen hurt, your top 6 wide receivers hurt, your tight end, who's your only reliable-ish player on offense who couldn't stop dropping the ball or turning it over.
Best tight end in the country, man. Come on.
And then you have, you had a bunch of young guys around you, and then you're a young guy, and I think, and frankly, I think that the way that the staff handled the offense last year was really dumb. They tried to kind of have Seth Luttrell run kind of a version of Jeff Levy's offense instead of just Jeff just running his own thing, or instead of Luttrell running his own thing. But then if they were going to do that, they had the guy in Joe John Finley who could have just ran that offense from the beginning, and they were installing new plays every week. They had a left tackle who should have stayed at left tackle all year, but because there were so many injuries at left guard, he had to play left guard. And then he would go 1 week at left guard. It was just disastrous. So I think Jackson is going to have highlight plays. I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna overall probably put up some solid numbers in the SEC. I mean, he has got a really good crew of receivers around him. His O-line's pretty good. He's gonna have turnovers though, and the biggest reason why I know he's gonna have turnovers isn't even just about him. I mean, I think all but 3 seasons that he's coached, Hugh Freeze has had a 20-plus turnover offense pretty much every year. So he's going to have turnovers. He's going to make you scratch your head probably at times, but I think he'll have a good year. I think Auburn would be like a 3-win team without Arnold, and I think they're going to be like a 7-win team with him. I think roughly. I think they start 2-4 though.
Yeah.
See, my whole thing is, I know Arnold's talented.
He's a unique talent. I was sad to see him.
But where I'm coming from is, it sounds like he's a head case, because the way Hugh Freeze put it is, I had to make him feel good about himself.
Yeah,
that tells me he's a head case.
For sure. See, here's what's weird is, like, we had heard that kind of stuff last offseason at OU as well. And what's weird about it is we didn't hear that before, because what we heard in 2023 is he's better already than Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel knows he's better already than him. So when all this happened, we knew that there could have been some O-line being young and all that. But how poorly he played was unexpected. And he did a lot of things on his own where he didn't play well. But then you also saw, like, you saw the Ole Miss game where he almost, I mean, frankly, he was playing really well against Ole Miss. Miss had a huge advantage. They sacked him 11 times, and he still had 100 yards rushing or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have a guy who was in probably the worst situation. I mean, it's definitely the worst Oklahoma situation. The only thing I could think of last year watching OU's offense is, like, at least Iowa punts.
Fair.
It was unreal. I've never seen anything like that. I never could have predicted that there would be a 180 like that. But I don't know what that has in store for Jackson. I really wish he went somewhere else. I wish he had left the SEC, not because I don't think he could play there, but because I don't think there's a good situation in the SEC he could have transferred into that would make a lot of sense for him.
Yeah.
I think Auburn maybe made dollars and cents, but probably not. That probably wasn't a location that was best for his particular flaws, which is, like you said, a bit of a head case. Confidence. He has a few turnovers. I mean, we saw how Hugh Freeze was last year with his quarterbacks. Peyton Thorne wasn't a bad player for Auburn. He had some boneheaded turnovers, and he hooked his guy as a senior. And then they've got
the musical chairs don't work.
It has its moments where it can help you, but I mean, we've seen it work out in some places. But yeah, it's a rare scenario where it works. But Auburn's offense is going to put up numbers. The biggest thing for them is they've got to not turn it over as much.
Mhm.
Listen, the receiver group that they have might be the best in the SEC at Auburn. That's the one spot where you look at them and you're like, man.
If you're talking about potential, yes.
Well, I mean, you have Cam Coleman, who I think most people would peg as the number 2-ish wide receiver, maybe number 3 wide receiver in the SEC, right?
Sure.
And then you have a guy coming in from Georgia Tech who was the hottest commodity out of the portal at the position.
Yep.
Other than like Nick Anderson was maybe the 1A, they were like the 1A, 1B pairing in the portal. So we're talking, they project him to be a top 5. I don't do the thing where like, hey, we don't know until they play in the SEC. Like, I think that narrative is kind of over with. We've seen too many players that are good come from other places and come in and they're fine. Like, Diego Lobby is a great example. Like, I do think we need to stop. Good players are good regardless of what jersey they wear, what patches on their jersey, and all that stuff. So I do think we need to stop that. But, you know, the play style is different, right? You know, they produce different statistics. So the style of offense you play in may change and do different things. But the receivers that they have, that Auburn has, it might be the best in the league. I think them and Alabama are like 1 and 2 there, and it's kind of hard to tell which is which. But yeah, I mean, stats wise, he'll put up numbers. The big thing for him is he's got to figure out a way not to turn it over. And if he can do that, I think he can have. I think on the high end, he could be an all SEC level player. I don't know if that's what he does, but I think it's too early to just give up on it. How many times have we seen this story? Guy struggles somewhere he probably shouldn't, then he goes somewhere else, and then he becomes really good, and then he goes to the NFL. It happens all the time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and for OU, it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, yeah. The whole thing worked out well for everybody involved. I also think that when Mike Hawkins showed up to fall camp, that also really hurt Arnold a little bit, because Mike Hawkins was, when all the receivers were healthy, those guys were slinging the ball around during camp last year. And Hawkins was, even though, you know, Jackson's mobile, but Hawkins is just a freak Kyler-ish like athlete with his feet. And he was making plays that, and there were some people that thought that Mike was better than him, which, you know, no one would have thought going in. And I think that there's a lot of series of very weird events, plus poor coaching situation, plus injury that made Jackson not as good. I don't know if what that means at Auburn, but I've seen the story too many times. Super talented guy, like I said, leaves a place where it doesn't work and it goes somewhere else. Bo Nix is a great example of that. He ended up being a first-round pick. It looks like he's a top 15 quarterback in the league already going into his second year, right? But he's up there. He's good. He's a good player. Jaden Daniels was terrible at Arizona State. They literally laughed at him and celebrated him leaving. I kind of bought into the fact that I thought he was still the same guy. He was amazing at LSU in his second year there and won the Heisman Trophy. So
I love hearing you say that, by the way. That's music to my ears.
Baker Mayfield. He was the offensive rookie of the year in the Big 12, but he also got benched for Davis Webb.
Yep.
The OU walked on, became a Heisman Trophy winner, right? So, like, you just never know. We've seen the story too many times. Talented guy goes somewhere, ends up being awesome somewhere else. I don't know about Auburn. That's the thing that makes me nervous. If he went anywhere but, like, Auburn, where you have a guy like Hugh Freeze who just tends to have his quarterbacks turn the ball over for whatever reason, I would feel a lot more confident in saying, I think he'll bounce back. But I'm nervous about it being Auburn, because turnovers and Hugh Freeze go together like peanut butter and jelly, for whatever reason that might be.
Yeah.
It just,
it's always been that way.
Yeah. Jackson needs to fix turnovers. That's his biggest flaw.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, because we have about 4 minutes left. What is it going to take for the Tim Bailey show to come back?
I don't know if that's realistic. I work 6 to 7 days a week, probably about 10 hours a day each day.
Yeah.
I'm also unbanned in Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm finally traveling.
I saw that.
Yes.
I saw that.
So I don't know if that's a realistic thing. I would love to do it again. I definitely would be able to do it where I travel for sure. That would.
Oh yeah, no.
But I don't know. I don't think that's realistic. The Buckeye backers, I think is what they're called now. They reached out to me and they wanted me to write articles, and I was like, I'm not going to commit to doing anything that I don't know if I can do. So,
you should join it. You should join it. We're part of it. We love it.
Yeah.
The old crew's getting back together.
No, it's cool. I do miss it, and I do love the sports media thing, but I kind of always had the conflict where going all in one or the other was always something that I probably could have done. And I tried the college football thing, and it was very rewarding, and it was a lot of fun. But as it turns out, you don't pay bills with hopes and dreams.
It's true, unfortunately.
And, we got into this, and it's been very successful, even more successful than I thought. But I have, 3 employees now. So there's some flexibility. So eventually I might be able to do something. Nice. I would like to. But, yeah, in the meantime, I can definitely probably commit to here every now and again coming and being a pest and interrupting Vandy Chris on your show.
I mean, hey, if we get your exclusive rights, that's all that matters.
Did you get to see any of Andrew talking about the college football stadiums earlier?
I didn't. So I saw you guys were live when I was scrolling through Facebook, and so I just clicked on it. I think you were talking about Missouri when I started.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Missouri's going to be good.
So tonight we had a guy on. His name's Andrew Bauhs, and he does Andrew's college football tour. And he said 21 stadiums left to see.
Wow.
And he's been doing it over 20 years. And it was a really, really cool story from him. So yeah, we're gonna have him back on. It was definitely a fun conversation, to say the least.
Where was the best few? I'm sure he probably didn't make a number one.
Yeah, so he didn't do like a top 5 of these are the 5 best, but he did like here's 5 that have stood out to me. So like UTEP, Cal, Wisconsin, Washington, and one that he put to the side was James Madison. Yeah, App State and James Madison. Mm-hmm. The environments.
I haven't been to any of those except for Washington, but I've heard so many good things about all of them, except for UTEP. I mean, no one hears UTEP, but
yeah, you never hear anything. So when you get a guy that's been there and when he goes to the stadium, he looks for like the pregame, the tailgating type stuff, and what do they do during the game? And for UTEP to be as bad as what they are at football sells that place out all the time.
I've always heard, so I'm a huge Pac-12 After Dark guy. Graduated West Coast, right? I love the West Coast. There are things I don't like about the West Coast, but we don't need to talk about those on the air. But Cal Berkeley, I've heard, really fun place. The Bear territory. You even saw that with Pat McAfee, I think last year of the season? Yep. Yeah, Miami went. Yeah. Yep. I really thought Miami was they should have been beat that day, but that place was rocking. It was awesome. I like Cal.
At Cal, he was talking about up on the side of the hill where they built all the tent city and everything, where it's free and they got benches in the trees where you can sit and watch the entire game in the benches and not cost you a penny.
That's crazy. That's crazy. How big? So, if I can ask, I don't know how much time.
We got about a minute and a half.
Who do you guys think are top 5 or 6 SEC teams probably make the CFP? Probably 5 comfortably. Who do you think?
I'm going to say 4.
4?
Yeah, I'm going to go with 4.
4 or 5. Yeah, 6 is too many. I don't know what the heck's wrong with me. 4 or 5 probably make it. 4 for sure, 5 maybe. Depends on the scenario. He has 5 last year if Alabama doesn't go to Norman and step on attack.
Texas?
I don't have Texas in.
Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, and probably Bama.
I really like Alabama next year. I don't know about South Carolina. So here's my thing about South Carolina really quick. They're replacing a lot on their offensive line. They're replacing 9 starters on defense, and the defense was their strength last year. And I think that for some reason, we have been lulled into just believing in Sellers kind of blindly. I'm not going to say anything super negative about him. He was a solid freshman quarterback, and he could absolutely climb and do better. We've seen quarterbacks do that. But unless he becomes a much better passer, we really need to stop with this. He's the top in the SEC. He's
Amen.
Like last year, like I think it would be incredibly insulting to KJ Jefferson to call what we
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing with him. I do agree that he has potential and talent, but like this is the dude who like where we like I don't see this great quarterback here. Now we see the talent and we kind of see a little bit. We saw more of our, but DJ Lagway, the guy we saw, he's what 10 touchdowns, 10 picks or whatever, 6 touchdowns, 6 picks, or something like that in game 5 last year. And it's not all about the stats, but I think there's a lot of uncertainty with some of those players. You know, Garrett Meyer even has some question marks. You know, like he wasn't as good in SEC play.
So
a lot of
on Sellers, for me, if he continues on the same path of progression in his development that he was on last year, I think the sky's the limit for South Carolina. Now, if he drops off in his development, all bets are off.
Well, if he's slightly better or the same, the offense is still going to be pretty poor, and they also have Rocket. So, like, that's where, like, how good are we going to be on defense? We know we're good. We're well coached at South Carolina. I don't think that's a question, right? But the problem at South Carolina is usually it's every 3 to 5 years you're going to have one of these teams, and I think they blew that last year because they lost 9 starters. That's just my opinion. That's my take.
That's
now,
fair.
I don't want to go play them after Red River next year. I think that's a really bad spot of the schedule for Oklahoma. But I don't think that they're going to be that great.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. What about you, Cody, if you're willing to spend an extra few minutes?
So we have like 5 seconds before I need to cut it off, but I'm going to extend it. It's all good. No. So you already know that I think LSU's taking it all, but obviously everything, I think it depends on game 1 though. I'm with you on that. I'm really high on this team, but besides that though, I do not buy into Texas at all. I'm sorry, but until Arch can prove
number 1 is crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, same. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Arch Manning's a good quarterback. I think he's talented. I think he's going to have a good year. But with what they lost last year and what they have coming in, I don't see it meshing together to be the best team in the country.
I mean, what number 1 team has to replace 4 of their top 5 O-lines that you can remember in recent memory?
Exactly, none. And I think Notre Dame's better than Texas. I think Penn State's better than Texas. I think Ohio State's better than Texas. I think all those teams could easily beat Texas this year.
We'll get a real quick Ohio State has a real quick opportunity to show that too.
If Julian Sayin is what we think he could be, it could be a very nasty blowout win for Ohio State.
If Julian Sayin is as good, I cannot wait to see all the Super Saiyan memes and like videos and stuff.
Oh, trust me, I've already got graphics ready for that too. Like, I'm so ready for that.
I think Texas is still going to be very good.
Yeah,
I think
they're second in the SEC.
Yeah, we look at their first 6 games; they could be as bad as 3-3 to start.
Absolutely.
They play at Florida before going to Red River, and they play Ohio State week 1. That is a nasty first 6. Now, the back 6, I think they'll sweep through, including Georgia. I'm not big on Georgia next year. I get that, like, they're the ho-hum. It's always Georgia. They're good. But we saw a lot of cracks in the armor last year from Georgia, and I don't think they're anywhere near as good on paper as they were last year. That bothers me. I
think a lot. For me, Georgia last year hung on Carson Beck, and Carson Beck didn't play well last year. Let's be honest. But I think Gunnar Stockton is more in the lines of the type of quarterback that makes Georgia go.
But there's a question with Gunnar Stockton, though, and it's that he came in and flashed once the game was going. Does he have it to be an every week quarterback? Like, is he ready for
I
that?
don't think he looked good at all when he played last year. I thought he looked horrible when he played. Now,
Let me rephrase that. He managed it. He managed the situation.
But a tough situation. You're going to get thrown in
Mhm.
against Texas and Notre Dame, two of the best defenses in the country. That's what
Right.
we saw as his first two meaningful actions. So I'm not going to judge him harshly for it, but he didn't
Sure.
look good. And here's the bigger problem for me, because we're going to watch Carson Beck go over there to Miami, and I think he's going to do well there.
I think he is too.
Miami's winning the ACC, but I think he's going to do well there. And I don't know. There's one glaring flaw in Georgia's entire roster and staff, and I think everyone knows who that is. It's Mike Bobo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
We don't have a star running back for Georgia. How do we not have a star running back for Georgia? Do you know how many years they had a star running back?
Every year, pretty
And then-
much.
And then our last one's what, DeAndre Swift?
Yeah,
There's
and
been
he
some
was
good players. Don't
Yeah.
get me
Yeah.
wrong, but they're like what
Yeah.
with the McIntosh and like Holyfield, and I mean, like, that's
was a step
mediocre
down.
group for Georgia.
It was a big step down.
And
Mhm.
Cook was definitely a lot better than. And why is Cook better in the NFL than he was at Georgia? That's a big question I have. He's way better as an NFL player than he was at Georgia, because he
No
was
Bobo.
very mid at Georgia. He was fine. Like, he was fine. He's like okay, he's whatever. But in the NFL, he's playing really well. I get it. He gets to play with Josh Allen, but that tells me that what they're having at their coaching staff is just not right. And I think the further you get away from Todd Monken, I think it's been bad. I think it's real bad for Georgia on the offensive side. Now, defensively, Georgia's going to be good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But you can't stockpile as much defensive line and linebacker talent and go in the SEC where people run 60% of the time and not be successful on defense. But man, losing Malachi Starks, one of the best players in all of college football, that's a question mark for me.
it is.
Mhm.
But I don't know, it's very interesting. Yeah.
I just hope my quarterback's not writing checks that his ass can't cash.
He's sure talking a lot.
Oh
But-
man, Diego.
But to his credit, though,
yeah.
if winning a national championship isn't your goal, why are you playing? That has to be your goal, right?
But to say it's the standard at Vanderbilt is absurd, because it can't be a standard until you've done it.
I think that he's brand building right now.
Sure. Oh, for sure.
But it has to be the standard. If you want to get to that level, you have to set that as what your standard is going to be.
That's fair.
I just I'm really excited about OU. Like I had told you guys, I thought OU would settle in and be fine last year, win 10 games. But there were question marks, as I said. We don't know what's going to happen with the offensive line, first-time quarterback, and then about all of the things that could go wrong did.
I was about to say, you could not have predicted what happened with OU last year.
I don't think it's possible to, like, people are like, you said that they'd be good last year, buddy. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't think that the team that I had in my head is the team that was fielded last year, to be fair to me.
Yes.
But I was very right about the defense. The defense was outstanding. I think the defense for Oklahoma is much better next year. And I think adding Jaden Ott, John Mateer, and Derek Simmons, you look at that Oklahoma offensive line last year, a lot of question marks, who's going to play, not a lot of guys that have played. Now you have all your starters back. You bring in a top 5 tackle. You have your center for the whole year now, which is great. And then on top of it, all those young, talented guys that had to go through the fire that looked pretty good towards the end of the year. You remember the LSU and the Bama game right there at the end of the year where they looked pretty good. That group got to play, and they're now experienced. So and then you bring in probably Michael Fasusi and Ryan Foje are two of the best prospects I've seen in a while on the offensive line. Man, that offensive line looks 3 or 4 deep. OU's number 4 tackle started 9 games at Stanford last year. It's a totally different ball game for OU on the O line. I expect them to be probably a top 5 in the SEC unit at least, probably next year. You have Bill Beadenbow is one of the best in the business. OU shouldn't have trouble running the football. Deion Burks, Giovanni Gibson set to play early in the year. He broke his leg in spring,
Yeah,
and he's way ahead of schedule. So that's pretty
good.
Man, it's really exciting. We'll see. I really wish I had Nick Anderson on the roster.
Yeah.
Brent Venables expressed that he really wished he still had Bauer Sharp, to be fair, because our tight end room, that's the one spot on OU's roster where it screams, that is not a good enough group.
So
yeah.
who do you have as being that team that's going to sneak into the playoffs? It's kind of under the radar, that everybody knows is going to be good, but they're not really putting any stock into them.
Texas Tech.
I swear to God, that's who I was going to say.
I don't think so.
They may not make may not make it. The other one to look out for, though, to me, is Baylor.
Yes, absolutely.
Sawyer Robertson is an absolute monster.
Mhm.
I look at Baylor. Auburn is about. I think Auburn fans do not understand what they're going to walk into in Waco.
Mhm.
That place is a tough place to play. Sawyer Robertson. I think
Sure.
that they have. I think right now, until Jackson proves otherwise, Baylor has a quarterback advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor has a lot of guys returning on defense. They weren't a great defense last year, but they started to figure it out towards the end of the year, and we all know who their head coach is.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor's really interesting.
I got Illinois.
You know who else, though? I'll give you one more. Minnesota.
I'm not thinking Minnesota. I have Illinois.
I can see that. Illinois, I like what they have there. My problem is, like, I don't know if Illinois is really well coached. I think Brett Bielema got a lot of disrespect that he didn't deserve. We can say that, obviously.
Yeah.
In respect. But I just don't know that Illinois has enough. And one of their best players that was a Syracuse player transferred to Texas. Syracuse might be another one to think about, too, in this conversation.
Yeah.
Also, SMU, people keep not remembering that they're really well coached and they have a lot of talent for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the deal is with that. Texas Tech may be a year away.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think there's such a gap in talent on their roster to get to where they needed to go that they had to spend the $25 million just to get even.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say here is going to be a little bit. This is a bold statement. Baylor was the best team in the Big 12 at the end of the year, not Arizona State. Baylor, so keep in mind, Baylor, very young last year. They played Utah with Cam Rising. They were the only Big 12 team to have that problem. They lost that game. That was Utah's only Big 12 win last year. Who would have saw that coming? And then Oklahoma State. Last year was such a bizarre year. Anyway, you had that. Then you also have to keep in mind that they lost a game to a fluky-ass Hail Mary to Colorado. And then after that, they only lost they lost a game to BYU early on when BYU was really good, really close game. And then at the end of the year, I think the rest of the year, they won every game until they lost in that bowl game to LSU. And I know that the score wasn't very close, but I thought Baylor played a little bit better than the score indicated after.
100%.
The thing about Arizona State, I like the way Kenny Dillingham designs his offensive plays. He's very good at that. And with the quarterback they've got, I think they can be a threat, but they have to find somebody that can run the ball and replace Scatterboot.
Yeah, I think last year's what's crazy. I know you talked about Texas. I want to touch on them for a minute. I'm not here to hate on Texas. As an Oklahoma, everyone knows I'm an Oklahoma fan, but I think you guys can attest. I have not been unfair to Texas in my analysis.
No,
I've been pretty consistent with Texas.
Yeah.
My concern for Texas right now, I can go 3 years, and they've been very good for 2 years now. Okay, they've been a very good team, and they project to be a good team again this year, and I think they will be. Here's a couple of questions I have for Sarkisian. One, why does your offense start to stink every time you play a decent defense? And I don't think that the answer is Quinn Ewers. I don't think that's the answer. Maybe it was last year because he wasn't playing healthy, but I don't think that's the overall answer. That's my first question. My second question is, you beat all the teams you're supposed to, but every time you play somebody that's in your ballpark, you lose. Last year, they lost twice to Georgia. They tried to let Clemson through the back door. They pretty like, if it wasn't for what's his name, the quarterback for Arizona State, we were just talking about losing his brain for a second. He had a guy wide open for a game-winning touchdown on a 4th down. So,
Well,
two-point conversion.
To be fair, in Nashville, if they don't call the quarterback's shoulders aren't square to the line at the snap penalty, Vanderbilt beats Texas.
That could happen. They didn't play well against Kentucky. And that seemed to be a trend. You know, we talked about it, you know, we were talking about it in the Big 12, and I told people, like, this whole Big 12 is way worse than the SEC thing is overblown. Not that it's not true that the SEC is better, but they talked about, oh, Texas can't get away with messing around at TCU, and they can't get away with this and that. And then, you know, I was like, of course they can still do that. The SEC isn't Alabama and the New England Patriots every week. Like, what are we acting like?
Right.
And then, you know, there we go. Texas did it against Vanderbilt. They did it against Kentucky. Really, the only teams they beat thoroughly last year was, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and Florida?
Mississippi State gave them a game for a half. I think they're going to surprise people.
I think they're going to be really good. I don't know about number one. I don't know about SEC championship. I could see them being in the playoff. I think they're 9-2, 10-3 type, or 9-3, 10-2 type team. I don't know, man. Like, they got to play. Their schedule's better just on the virtue of Oklahoma being better this year. I think that helps a lot for them and they play Ohio State, right? And they play Georgia, right? So you have 3 teams that I know that the coaches poll doesn't have Oklahoma ranked. The AP will. I don't know why the coaches poll have them at 26. I don't get that, but it is what it is. But they still have Mississippi State and no disrespect. I don't think Vanderbilt's competing for a SEC championship or a national championship. They'll be solid, like 7-8 win team, in my opinion. I think they'll be good. 6 wins might be possible as well. Their schedule's pretty tough. Because you guys would play. Yeah, your schedule's kind of tough. Last time I looked, you play Texas and Alabama. You know Alabama ain't going to be very happy about what happened last year.
Yep.
Whew. Who else is on that?
So, I mean, we got Virginia Tech. I think that's a win.
I think that's a win.
We should go 4-0 out of conference.
So I will say,
Charleston Southern, Georgia State, Utah State.
Don't lose to Georgia State again.
So my whole take on that is, if we don't lose that game, the rest of the season never happens.
Maybe
because
that's the case.
It was a wake-up call for them. Clark Lee talked about it the whole week. I don't like how you're practicing. I don't like what the guys are showing me in practice. And they went out and laid an egg. And he used it as a reference the rest of the year. Hey, you've got to take care of business every week and not take a day off.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, you can't live on what you did last year. You have to go out and do it again.
Yeah, that's my big concern for Vanderbilt right now, is there's a lot of...
We've been there before.
Yeah. There's a lot of talking. And there's no way to put action into place right now, at least that we see publicly. But there's a lot of talking, and we don't know how that's going to go.
Right.
But I do like Vandy. I like Diego Pavia. I think it's crazy that he got an extra year. I don't know that I like that change, but I also don't see a big issue with it either. But it is a trend.
Funny thing happened today. They had another player that filed a lawsuit on the same grounds today that got heard by the same judge that got turned down. And the reason why, he didn't play at all. He wasn't even enrolled in college in 2024. So they said, nope, you exhausted your playing days. You're done.
Okay, so they're like, you can't just go ahead and retroactively get you another year.
Right. And that's where a lot of people. It happened in baseball. A guy got denied,
Yep.
but it was for people that were on active rosters during the 24-25 school year. And there were players that tried to get in that weren't on rosters that got turned down, and everybody's mad about it because, well, Pavia got it. Well, that you have to understand what it applied to, and I get it.
Got a shot. I mean, some of these kids are making like a good, even the like the low end NIL deals are like 60, 70 grand for a lot of these kids. I don't blame them.
But I get it. You can't in JUCO. You can't get NIL.
Yeah.
So when you come to FBS, you can't tell the kid you're getting punished because you went that route first.
I agree with the premise of the idea. I don't think that JUCO should count towards your NCAA eligibility.
Right.
I think that's wrong. I also think retrospectively they should change participating in semi-pro as not hurting your eligibility. But I think that's a deep conversation we'd have to do.
Absolutely.
I could see
you mentioned that.
Eyes. Look at him. He's so tired.
You mentioned Alabama.
I'm so tired, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hype. I think they can be really good. I'd like Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
My problem with them is Ryan Williams, the final 6 games last year, no more than 53 yards passing or receiving in any of those games.
Yeah.
And if we're judging Alabama based on what we've seen on the field from Ty Simpson, that hasn't been good.
Yeah.
So where's the hype coming from? I get it, but there's questions.
The biggest thing is they have probably the top O-line, D-line combo in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's helpful for them. You have a bunch of different running backs that can play. You have Ryan Williams. I will give him this shout out. He definitely scored a touchdown against Oklahoma that the officials should not have ruled as not a touchdown. I don't know why that happened.
We're all okay with it, though.
They still he would have had more than 53 yards is all I'm saying. They would have still lost.
Sure.
10 instead, but I don't know what that was about. I think that was weird. But on a side, I think Ryan Williams is the real deal. I don't know what happened to Jalen Milroe this last year, but Jalen Milroe didn't look anything like the Jalen Milroe we'd seen from after the USF game to, because I mean, remember going into one of those weeks, was it the OU week? They were talking about how he had scored multiple rushing touchdowns and like several weeks in a row and like, all this stuff. I also think that what hurt I think also what hurt Alabama last year is that opposite Ryan Williams, there wasn't a whole lot going on. If Isaiah Bond hadn't transferred, maybe we're looking at a different situation for them having that pairing.
Right.
And, Bama's receiving core projects to be a lot better this year. But, you're right. There's question marks there. I just don't think Ty Simpson has to do a lot. And I think that the difference is that he can play a role that Milroe could not play. Like, Milroe has to be in control of the offense in order for him to be successful. He's got to touch the ball. He's got to feel the game. He's got to run the football. He's got to do things that affect the defense in ways that you don't affect from an X's and O. You affect an X's and O standpoint from your own personal gameplay. That's part of his game. That doesn't have to be Ty Simpson's game. He can just line up in the shotgun. How many guys are in the box? I'll hand it off. How many guys are in the box? I'll throw a screen. How many guys are in the box? Where's the safety at? He's rotating down. I'll throw a post. Like, he doesn't have to do anything special for Alabama to be good. If he's solid and he just doesn't turn it over a lot, I think that's enough. But you also have Kalen DeBoer, who has consistently put up great offenses, no matter where he's coached. And so I think that's something to keep in mind. He coached Jay Kaner at Fresno State. He coached Michael Penix at both Indiana and Washington. He coached Milroe, I just don't think fit his style of offense. And I think he'd be a little bit better in that regard. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But I think Alabama, I think Alabama, to me, is the team that wins the league next year.
Interesting.
I think they're a team to me that looks like on paper like they are the most well-rounded team in the SEC, and I think that they're not getting enough love for that because of the Nick Saban's not here syndrome.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that. Me personally, I'm not even sold on them yet, and I don't believe in DeBoer at Alabama. I think DeBoer's a great coach. I don't like the fit.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Alabama's defense, even though they had some flaws last year, as the season progressed, they got a lot better.
Oh, sure.
You look at the secondary and the group that they have there, with Ringo, starting with Ringo, not Ringo, excuse me. Is that kid, did he decommit from USC and flip, or did he just transfer? Why am I having this problem? It's the cornerback from California who was the number one corner last year.
Shit, what's his name?
Alabama's got to get better in the secondary. We all know that because I'm still waiting on their corners to catch up to Junior Searle. They still chasing him.
Yeah. Vanderbilt is such a weird offense, right? It's kind of similar to the go-go offense that they ran at UNLV with Brandon Marion.
Mm-hmm.
It just puts your defense in a very weird situation, especially if you haven't seen. It's almost like playing the triple option. It creates a lot of problems if you don't see it a lot. I think Vanderbilt took people by storm. That's one of the things that gives me pause is like, now you have a whole year of tape on it. Is that going to affect things next year? But I think it'll still work. I think they'll score points. I think they'll
if it works and you control the clock and maintain possessions, don't turn the ball over, I think that's the recipe they have to follow again.
Yeah, I know it's a fun offense to play with in the playbook last year on College Football 25. I haven't gotten 26 yet. I have a birthday in a couple weeks, and I think that my wife might be getting it for me. So
there you go.
But last year I hadn't had it in 10 years, so I had to go buy it day of.
Yeah,
right.
It's a little different scenario this year. I'm okay with.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Extra minutes turned into an extra 30 minutes. So
hey, it's all good. All good.
I'm ready to spot the damn ball.
There you go.
Buddy. I can't wait. I can't believe we're in the month finally.
Right? Yeah. So I guess what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to get your logo and we're gonna have to share it on our show going forward, I think.
The Tim Bailey Show logo?
No, your store logo.
Ah, okay. I was like, I don't know if that's coming back, dog. I still have the Facebook group. People sometimes tag me and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it makes sense because a lot of our viewers share interest with what your store sells. So makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Nerds and college football goes together really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Man. But so what's next for your store? What's your next big move you're gonna do?
So we did just get the upstairs here. So my play space is gonna go upstairs.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
So I'll have more room in here to display video games and that sort of thing.
That'd be cool.
Eventually, I'd like to add Legos and puzzles to the mix.
Nice.
So that's something I'm going to work on probably sometime next year, and clothing stuff. So that's
cool.
kind of the next line of things. And then eventually, I'd like to have in-person circuit where there's a lot of different games that are played in a big venue.
Sure.
So that'll probably be a 2027 type of project.
Heck yeah. Are you selling Labubus yet?
Somebody called me the other day and asked me.
I'm not surprised.
But honestly, I don't know of a way to get those. Like these, that's kind of slightly outside of the range of what we do.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. Oh man, I've been watching too much of the new King of the Hill series.
It's so good. So good.
I'll tell you what, boy. I do think if I can get a hold of some, I definitely would. I mean, they're crazy right now. Pokemon's crazy right now.
Oh God, yeah.
I feel like a drug dealer whenever it comes to Pokemon. It's just because I'm not getting allocated much because of the way Pokemon is right now. They get in all the big stores, so then I have to charge a little bit more. So I charge not quite what the market is, but a little less, and then that doesn't affect anything. They just all go off the shelf the same day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Crazy.
So, are you ready for a good chuckle?
All right, let's hear it.
56 years old. My oldest kid's been trying for 15 years to get me to play D&D.
Oh?
And I finally created my first character about 6 months ago.
There are people
and now I'm like, I want to play it every weekend now.
So here's the funny thing. I definitely see you as a D&D kind of personality, by the way. So I think that makes a lot of sense. D&D is never my thing. But speaking of D&D, I guess I could show you this. Let's see. Some of the D&D books. This is the
Oh, nice.
That's the alternate cover for that. But yeah, D&D is. We have a couple of groups that do sessions here that do their D&D here. I've never been a big D&D person personally, but I'll tell you what, the D&D people are the ones that they'll get you caught in a conversation. You end up in a catch-22, man. I'll be sitting there not wanting to have this conversation. The guy will be like, "What do you think? Do you know about that dragon from the 1980 third edition book?" And my brain goes, "Damn, I don't know. But should I just say yes to see if it ends the conversation?" But then in my brain, you end up with the those charts where it says if yes, if no.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say no, then it will be an hour-long story about it. And if I say yes, then he knows I'm going to lie because he's going to ask me about what its special attack is or something, and I'm not going to know the answer. So I have to be like, I don't know about that. And then then I hit myself with that other meme, the old meme, the brace yourself meme with the sword.
Yes.
Whew. He's gonna let me know. He's gonna tell me it's a spider dragon, bro. It does this.
Right.
That's awesome, brother. I don't know anything about it, but that's pretty sweet.
Well, hey, I tell you what. In the next couple weeks, we're gonna do an Oklahoma preview.
Oh yeah.
And so basically, it'll be us doing a mini episode. It'll be a record only. It won't be live. And I'm not sure yet, but we'll have to get your schedule, and you can come and join us for it.
Oh, that'd be fun. I'd be down to do that.
Yeah, because we did that last year where we previewed all the teams, and basically going forward, what we're going to do is we're going to have a show every day of the week, and we're just gonna it's gonna be pre-recorded on the weekends or whatever, and we'll just release them each day, just kind of breaking down the conferences and stuff. But we're gonna do SEC preview leading up to the season, and so I think that'd be a fun one to do.
Oh, yeah. Going to Indianapolis tomorrow morning early.
Oh, nice. Are you gonna win?
I hope so. That's the plan.
There's no reason to go if you're not.
Yeah, I have. You're right. No, I actually have a pretty long history of success playing this game, but it's been a little different. I've done well, but not as well as normal at these events. So hopefully this is the one.
Yeah, but you got to shake the rust off to get ready for when it matters. So there you go.
10 years is a long time, man.
It is, absolutely. Well, that being said, I say we're going to go ahead and probably cut this thing because we're going to end up eating all the memory on here, hitting 2.5 hours.
All right, guys.
Well, man, we appreciate you coming on. That was fun.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, later. All right. Well, that was fun.
An hour of football talk that we didn't plan on.
Hey, that was fun though. I'm all for that. That's very good. I don't know why I'm so tired tonight. I did wake up early, but
I was last night on Villains. I started yawning.
Oh, I saw you. Definitely saw you. So have you checked out the new King of the Hill yet? By the way,
I've never gotten into that.
Oh my gosh, you would be so happy if you did. I promise. You would appreciate it so much. I know you would for a fact.
I don't know. I just don't know.
I binged it. I watched every single episode, and I was so happy. It felt right, and it didn't feel like it shouldn't have come back. It actually felt right. It felt like a whole new show, but it's like it.
Do you
Just
know what
kept-
I want to binge watch?
What's that?
Any Given Saturday.
I do too. I think I'm going to start it probably
The-
tomorrow.
So the best part I've heard so far, they put Vanderbilt beating Alabama
Mm-hmm.
and Arkansas beating Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
in the same episode. Yes.
That's funny. I saw the guys from SECU
episode
guys
episode 3. That's
Okay.
yeah, that's my shit right there.
Well, I'm ready to watch it then. I was going to watch it the other day, but the kids were loud, and I like to be able to pay attention. So I've just been watching my food truck show on Food Network every night.
It gives you such an inside look at Vanderbilt football.
Yeah,
And
that's it's long
and
overdue.
the belief that why not us?
That's
Why
fair.
can't it be us?
Yeah. So let me ask you: are you going to subscribe to the new ESPN streaming platform?
No.
Really?
No.
I am. $30 a month, you get all the channels. I'm like, I'm ready for it. It gives me a reason to cancel my cable all the way, and because I'll have everything I need right there with that. Plus, Paramount Plus gives me my CBS, and then I can watch games on Amazon Prime, Peacock, and HBO Max. So I'm like, it's everything I need without having to have cable.
Roommate has Amazon Prime.
Okay,
We have Hulu,
perfect.
and between the two of us, we split on Sling Sports Pack.
Oh, well then that's perfect then. So you won't miss anything then.
I don't need to pay for ESPN streaming. No, sorry.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm already getting all your streaming channels on the other 3 platforms.
Yeah. I mean, because realistically, with Disney buying out WWE's streaming rights, that's takes away everything I need on TV right there. I don't have to have cable for anything for their pay-per-views or whatever. So I'm happy.
I just want to know how ESPN is buying the NFL network, because ESPN's freaking broke.
Oh, it's not ESPN doing it. It's Disney. Disney's putting too much money into it. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it, but eventually it's going to hurt them. But here's the problem, though. Okay, let's say ESPN goes bankrupt and they're not a thing anymore. Where are sports going to stream?
SEC's tied to the ESPN. Guess what? There goes the SEC.
Well, SEC would form their own thing, and it would. I think all conferences would form their own thing, or Fox would just take over everything in CBS and it'd be done.
Well, the SEC network is already part of ESPN.
But if ESPN has something happen, SEC can walk away.
Where's the money going to come from?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, HBO Max has become a really good streaming network for live events lately, so it might do something with that. And heck, Netflix is ready. So
but yeah, I'm ready to spot the damn ball.
Amen to that.
I'm supposed to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning to do a high school show.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, maybe I can have you some stuff done by 8 in the morning. I can't guarantee I can have you a whole video, but I can have.
You're about to fall asleep now.
No, I got to get up early anyway. I'll be up before 8 o'clock.
How do you like the name?
I like it. I think it flows just right. I wish I knew more about Tennessee high school football. If I did, I would hop on, but I don't know jack about it really, except for what we randomly stream on here throughout the season, which, by the way, we are going to do that again this year. We have to.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun last year. There's no copyright to it, so we don't have to worry about that. And I would think those games are starting in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 22nd.
Okay. So Simpson plays for what's the high school again?
Martin Westview.
All right, so we're going to do a Martin Westview game on here very soon. We'll put their first game of the year on here. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Oh, also, there's a breaking news. LSU has a new recruit. Who it is, I have no idea.
Everybody
But
knows who it is.
who?
That wide receiver.
No, that's not baseball.
No.
Man, AI is getting like ridiculous at this point. Like
I'm gonna
beyond ridiculous.
I'm gonna take a stab and say his name is Omnipotus Power Bat.
Oh man, I'm really trying to figure it out. One thing that was announced today. So LSU will not be playing in Round Rock, Texas, after it was previously announced, but it's being reported that they will be in Jacksonville instead. So Brad will get to go.
Yeah.
Lucky him. But nah, Jay Johnson, 952. He put a tiger emoji, and we know what that means. So I don't know if that's I don't know if that's maybe for a future recruit or if it's a portal guy. I genuinely have no idea. But I'll take it. So,
What?
anywho,
Whoa.
what?
Did you see what happened in Atlanta tonight?
You talking about the shooting? At
No.
the CBS? Oh, what?
No. So, Detroit Lions player Maurice Norris suffered a brutal neck injury and was taken to the hospital from the field.
Wait, who?
Maurice Norris,
Who's he play for?
Detroit.
Oh. You know, we know someone at the game, right?
Both Detroit and Atlanta agreed to snap the ball and let the clock run out on the game with over 12 minutes left. They literally stood in a circle on the field, snapped the ball, and just stood there and let the clock run.
That's crazy. So you do know that we know somebody at that game tonight.
The game is officially suspended after the play went on for over 6 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So they stood in a circle, hovered over the ball, both teams, and let the clock run for 6 minutes, and the officials stepped in and suspended the game.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now. Oh my gosh.
That's wild.
Yeah, Chris Joseph took his son to the game. Because I was talking to him earlier.
Sometimes life is bigger than football.
Amen. I mean, has there been any update? Is the guy okay?
Haven't seen an update.
What was his name again?
Maurice Norris.
All right, I got him right here. He played at Fresno State. All right, I'm gonna look it up and see if there's any update.
From the Detroit Lions, Maurice Norris is in stable condition and has feeling and movement in all extremities.
Oh, thank goodness.
He will remain at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta overnight for observation. I'd like to thank the Atlanta Falcons organization, EMS at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and the doctors and staff at Grady for their support.
Man, they're that's really good to hear that he's good, because I don't like hearing about injuries like that. It's just absolutely terrible, man. Well, anywho, Chris, it's been almost 3 hours, so I say let's end this show.
All right.
All right, everybody. Well, if you're still watching, I'm impressed, first of all. But thank you so much. If you could, please give us a like, follow, share, if you don't mind. And you'll be seeing a lot of us this coming week, as we'll be releasing videos on our YouTubes, and we'll share them on all our socials. So stay tuned. Much appreciated, and have a great week.
On the diamond passion every day.